You guys already know this is the main one tapping in all the way from H-Town, Houston, Texas. I'm here with my boy T.A.G.
T.A.G.
T.A.G sucks.
T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
T.A.G's gonna kill you.
That's T.A.G shit.
Whose house? T.A.G's house, baby.
The only thing we're gonna do is take over, baby.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What it is, what it was, and what it do, T.A.G Nation. It is your soon-to-be favorite IWC podcast. And tag me in, aka TMI. And who am I? Not the disembodied voice this week of ScooterRay. This is live in the flesh, but I got the NWO black and white filter on though.
I was about to say, doing a vignette for it.
NWO black and white filter on though. But that gentleman to my left is that prince of predictions, the at some point will be the king of predictions. I don't know, you know. Dizzle makes a lot of declarations, but
I do.
Lip Dizzle, aka Hot Take Timmy, and that name will make sense later on. The gentleman down below, with all the companies just splayed out in that background, is the reigning, defending tag prediction champion, Leo, aka Kicking It with Leo, aka the youngest in charge, aka the young OG. And of course, down below to his right, that beautiful human, handsome devil himself, Jaeger Bombastic, so fantastic. And at some point, you're going to hear our official mascot Low-Key chiming in whenever he chimes in. So
he's been fed. He looks like he's gonna be quiet, but that's.
And I would like literally, it would have been perfect. Like 2 seconds later, he just went off.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling on this weekend?
Doing good.
So far.
But
Doing
wrestling,
good.
I just got through watching WWE Unreal, and boy oh boy, they pissed me off in so many ways I can't even understand.
You know what? I was going to at some point. You know what? Let's go ahead and get into it. WWE Unreal. Now, I still have not watched it. I have not watched season 1, 2, or 3. But
Is that the one with Nikita Lyons now?
What's up?
Is that the one with Nikita Lyons now?
No. Unreal is that show on Netflix where they kind of go behind the scenes and all that.
Oh, I'm not watching y'all break the fucking kayfabe. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
And you know, I kind of feel that way too.
They've been doing that.
But one of the no. He said they've been doing it. But one of the comments I saw was Unreal is just video evidence that Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes don't know shit. So
well, that's for sure. But we also see how they construct a lot of these different things where they talked about certain things that we may have talked about, potentially Braun Breaker winning the Royal Rumble. They talked about that, but they also just disrespected the future of their company, and I'm confused because they literally sat up there and said they showcased who are the future of their company. They displayed Braun Breaker. They displayed Obafemi, Trick Williams, Last Legend. Who was left out again? Javon Evans. He only had made one appearance, and it was just them saying, "You did good." Are we serious right now?
Well, I'm telling you, gotta understand. This
they
is
just randomly said he did good.
Like this is an age-based company. Yeah.
But like the fact is, they're sitting there talking about the youngest in the company, people that they are going to build a future around. They're talking about who's the next guy up. They're talking about Obafemi. They're talking about Trick Williams. Javon Evans wasn't even mentioned, barely. They didn't even talk about him being in the Royal Rumble. They didn't talk about him in the Eliminating Chamber. They didn't talk about him going into WrestleMania. They focused mostly on everyone else, but Javon Evans is still getting shafted. For what
Well,
reason, I don't know.
So in my personal thoughts, I think it's that age thing that you was kind of teasing me about with Dizzle pre-production. You got to think all of those names you just named are on the cusp of 30 or like 30. Javon is still early 20s. So,
because let me look all these people up as we go through.
That's the way they
I know
go look at
Overfitty's
it.
28.
Yeah, so I'm
Williams, I
pretty
think,
sure
he's in his 30s.
that's the way they're looking at it.
No, but the sad part is, Trick is 32.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you have to look at it like this, and go ahead.
Because Soul is 26, but Laney Reed just won a tag team title, but Laney can win a championship, but Javon can't.
But Laney is a product of the team. It's the team that helped Laney out. But go ahead, Dizzle. What you about to say?
Yeah, so I mean, we can all agree that to some degree that there is a discrepancy within Javon's booking, because whereas I get it, we talked about this last week where I made the comparison with the Jeff Hardy situation, and I still agree that if they're talking about the next up, I don't personally think that he should be in that conversation as the direct next up if we're talking about faces of the company. I believe that he will become a pillar at some point, but right now he's a good hand. Well, he should be. He's just not in that position because they're not putting him there. That is the part that I disagree with them as far as booking goes, because he should be further along right now. He should have already won 1 or 2 titles. And I don't even mean tag, I just mean singles titles in general, because whereas I understand that they're bringing people in and they're having a hard time trying to, give people shine, Dominic, Penta, Dragon Lee, and you have a lot of people that's getting the shaft when it comes to booking and creative and so on and so forth. But Javon is somebody that has been proven on Raw that he can become a potential highlight reel. I mean, we don't when it comes to, and I hate doing this, but the stereotypical athletic black guy, Shelton, Kofi, Ricochet, so on and so forth. He fits that motif, and he should be booked as such. The problem is they're not booking him like they would those other guys, because again, and of course you can hate the stereotype, but the template has always been the same. They bring that guy in, they put him in a showcase, he becomes a mid-card superstar, and then he might get booked up in the lower main card. With Javon right now, he's showcased that he can do more so, with the exception of Ricochet, more so than the other guys when it comes to high flying and being that highlight reel. But they're not doing the next step, which is consistent booking. And they haven't built a consistent foundation for him. Whereas now you're just getting inconsistent booking. He's putting a tag team here. He's putting a so-called feud here. Whereas if you look at Dominic has had the AAA Mega Championship for the better part of almost a year at this point. And he's held both the Intercontinental and that title, where you could have easily taken that chance and put an Intercontinental Championship on Javon Evans just to see what they're going to do with them, especially when you have all this stuff going on with Penta. And now you're about to pass him up because now it's clearly set up for Chad Gable, which of course Chad Gable absolutely justified in getting that title. But now Javon's going to have to wait a little bit longer. So that's the issue that I have with it. So I it's 50-50 with, I'm going to say 70-30. My 30% goes to, I agree with them not naming him, but the 70% is me disagreeing with the way they have been booking him. So,
and not even that, it's just like, since he's been there, I look at the other ones, they've all had stories. Javon has been here for 6-7 months and hasn't had one story yet. He hasn't even made a PLE one-on-one match yet. And we're sitting here, and it just makes me think, then what was the point of bringing him up at that point? Why wouldn't you just keep him in NXT and treat him and have Shawn Michaels mentor him a little bit more, so that when he comes up, he's actually a little bit more main roster ready, where it's like, okay, he can be in the main event because he knows how to carry a brand. He knows how to carry a story, carry a feud, carry a match. It looks like they still treat him like a little kid because it's like he's 22. He still talks like a YN to a lot of people. Like he's not a person that you're putting on the podcast or anything else. But you'll put Trick there. You'll put Oba there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean we mentioned it before.
And then Javon just last week, after the match, he said, and I quote, "I'm tired of losing." At this point, just turn him heel. Just turn him heel. Just let him run rush out of everybody.
Yup.
But hey, funny enough, right? Because I brought up that age thing. Look who else is around his age range that's getting just as screwed over. Roxanne Perez. Once again, they keep.
Well, at least she can say she won a title on the main roster.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, but she
sure. If we really want to count the women tag team championships, that's fine. But once again,
I mean that's still
but see, they had no choice in that case because the women's division at that time needed her in that situation. Javon has proven once again, Javon is in that weird state of who he's all there with. Trick proved to be a star over this runaway freight train. So now it's like, shit, we don't know what to do with the other piece. So
it made it work. They're watching a real, like they're bringing him to like, oh, we're gonna have Trick Williams face Sami Zayn. We're gonna have Oba versus Brock because we know these two are gonna be in these spots. But then it's like, I'm looking at Soruka is going to be in, and even when you go back to, Saturday night main event for like John Cena's retirement or whatever, they wanted to showcase the next talent. And it's like, even then, it seemed like they weren't sure where Javon was going to fit in. Like, what does he do? Like, and people want to look at him like he's a cruiserweight. Yeah, he might maneuver like a cruiserweight, but this is a guy that can actually be a powerhouse. This is the same guy who's actually lifted somebody twice the size in Obafemi at Stand and Deliver just last year. So he's 6'1". He's tall. All he needs to do, in my personal opinion, is maybe build a little bit more muscle. And I think he's good. He should be good.
Well, and so
give the IC title.
Here's the issue with all, well, not what you're saying, but just in general with Javon Evans. It's the fact that we brought this up before, and just like you alluded to, Leo, is the fact that he shouldn't have been brought up. Now, in the comparison, like if you compare him to Trick and Oba, so on and so forth, all these guys had established runs in NXT, and Javon hadn't had an established run because even they it's funny because they continuously bring it up on commentary, and they've done that since NXT, where they continuously say how Javon has never had a singles title, and it's like, well, yeah, that's y'all's fault because if you would have kept him in NXT, he could have been, and this is going to kind of segue into the stuff with Santana just a little bit.
We don't know.
I'm not bringing that up.
We don't know who that individual is yet. So, but trust me, we're gonna spend some time on that.
Which is a stupid thing too. On top of that, but to continue on with the Javon thing, you wouldn't have had that gap within the roster for the main event scene on NXT if you would have just kept Javon there and had him be the face of NXT at that point. And it would have made more sense because once you brought him up with Oba, with Trick, then you had that void. And then with that small void, instead of taking the people that you had there, you bring up a Ricky Saints, you bring up an Ethan Page. And it's like, then you continue to build that gap where Javon could have flourished handsomely in NXT and made it his show. That could have been the young OG era. That's what we could be in the young OG era in NXT really right now, and we're not. And instead, we're playing catch up with the women's division when they're flourishing, and the men's division should be doing the same thing.
And look, and then you brought up something special. Just like how you're complaining about Javon, you just brought up names Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry are in that same boat.
But at least they have had established runs in a way. But like Bill said,
I get
he
that.
didn't have an established run when he stood.
struggling on that main roster.
Yeah, I
He
completely
is.
forgot about Joe Irrelevant.
See,
But then when you like Lil Bill said, it was automatically a foregone conclusion when he came up, he was going to be afterthought to everyone else because like he didn't have that established reign like he should have. Like you could have at least gave him the North American Championship, at least. And it's like you kept putting off the story of him beating Oba. That's the story a lot of the fans were invested in. Him beating Oba Femi. But time and time again, they would pass over him and would give it to Ricky Saints, giving it to Ethan Page. So many times where he was right there, they kept pulling the rug back and back and back. And now we're in the state that we're in now. That's why so
To
many
be
people
fair,
said
Ricky
he should have
and
maybe won the
Ethan
IC
Page
title.
are very well established talents. Like they know how to work. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, true. No, they do,
my question
but in the eye of the WWE fans, it's a little bit skewed. So they're in the same boat when it comes to popularity. That's the unfortunate part about it.
And that's the sad part about it. But then it's like, as I look in, I'm gonna throw this question to you. Where we're standing right now, we're leading into SummerSlam. We're gonna have T.A.G probably win the Intercontinental Championship. We're gonna probably have maybe a different landscape, maybe coming out of SummerSlam. So my question to you guys, for Javon Evans, where do you see his career going, his trajectory going throughout the rest of the year? Do you see a heel turn? Do you think he needs a heel turn to get over that hump to really prove he is not just a guy that's just happy to be there, but he wants to be there and wants to be at the very top of his game?
I mean, I'll answer it quick as far as on my opinion of it. No, I think the only thing he needs is relocation. I think you either put him on SmackDown, give him a fresh coat of paint. You can still keep him face, or and this is probably the Hail Mary, throw him back on NXT and just take that risk.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know if he's going to win the IC title. I mean, unless he turns heel.
I kind of second that. I kind of second that opinion with what Dylan said.
I'm not mad at the idea of throwing him back, but you know he's going to get lit up in the comment section for going back so soon.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a Hail Mary, because you do take a risk of having the public opinion on him being, well, was he not good enough to be on the main roster? And then it's just like, do we want to do it? Because it's like, no, go ahead.
You know, if people do that, and Triple H even made it very clear. He sees the comments. You can tell WWE is going to feel some type of way, like, oh, you send him right back down to NXT. He's going to get. I mean, Javon might get a little hate because, like, well, you couldn't make a main roster, so now you're back. And you know somebody that he'll come across with somebody in NXT that's going to bring that up. Oh, you're back down to NXT because you couldn't cut on the main roster. Everybody else became champions, and you're still looking for your title. Like,
but see, that's how you make it a part of his story.
His presentation,
you make that a part of his art, though.
I mean, you can, but it's like his presentation currently right now. I mean, now he's changed his presentation. Now he's wearing the gold grills. Now he's become a little bit more edgy in how he moves and his moveset. So it's like, I want to say he's a baby face, but sometimes he does things in a way he presents himself or his mannerisms that come off as a heel. So I don't know if we're trying to tell a more edgier version of him, which I'm okay with, or if it's a heel turn, because people keep bringing up, maybe he joins the Vision. I've heard people even say he maybe, after all this is done with Brock Lesnar and Oba and all that type of stuff, Paul Heyman becomes the new manager for someone like a Javon Evans, which I honestly think that probably could do wonder for him, because it could be reminiscent of RVD all those years ago, where he didn't feel like this bigger than life type character, but his moveset is what really set him over the edge and got him over the hump. But you do this with Javon, who's very young, and you know for a fact that partnership can really do well, because I don't think Javon is the very best in the promo department, but when it comes to overall being in ring, that's where he does the most of his talking, and his most is his best work.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I think they dropped the ball with the King of the Ring stuff, because you had so many avenues that you could have gone with him taking the W over Oba, you know, whether you think about it with Brock shenanigans or whatever, there you could have easily taken it to where it's like, all right, cool, give him the babyface push where, you know, he's the underdog against Roman, you know, in this situation, or have him lose to Roman and then get a cocky head. And now all of a sudden, now he's got that organic edge about him where it's like you can see him go either way. But the fact that they don't even experiment with it, they're just like, okay, well, we want to do this. So then you forget about everybody else within the tournament. So it's like nobody has a story coming out of it. It's just we want to focus on Oba, and it's no slight to Oba at all. It's just the fact that you can walk and chew bubble gum.
Yep.
And that's the issue that I have with creative, because I'm assuming you got about 12 people doing creative, and you're telling me that everybody's just focused on Oba and Brock?
No.
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way.
And this is the thing, like, there's two outcomes you could honestly do. You either potentially give him money in the bank, which I mean, I think he could benefit from because you have a whole year to cash in and you can do a lot of character development in that time. Or you start to build him slowly but surely. So when we do get to Oba and Roman and Oba do become world champion, you build him up as the underdog babyface that ultimately dethrones Oba Femi. Because you can bring that story back around full circle. He's the guy that beats Oba Femi.
You gotta put some more muscle on you do that.
But you know what? Like the issue with WWE is what, you know, I've been kind of saying. All of that is well and good and fun, but the problem is WWE hits that panic button too many times. The moment they see a skid in ratings or a skid in that money, they'll hit the panic button real quick and boom, this person did it again. Boom, this person did this now instead of this, and then now we're all back to square one, and all of the build up and all of the storytelling is for nothing. So, and funny enough, that kind of sort of ties into what I'm about to say, is the list of superstars that are now officially free agents. We had the Motor City Machine Guns. They are now free to do whatever. Kyrie, once again, Kyrie was in a very prominent storyline with Asuka. They didn't care. Santos Escobar, Zoe Stark or Zoe Serrano, Aleister Black and Zelina, prominent storyline, got rid of them. Eric Rowan, Nikki Storm, Joseph Sawyer, aka Joe Gacy, Samuel Shaw, aka Dexter Loomis, and Bo Dallas. They are all free agents officially to do whatever they want.
I'll say this really quick. The two that got disrespected the most out of this whole thing is Santos Escobar and Zoe Stark. Because Zoe Stark, a day, what I think it was the day before,
like the day after she got cleared.
Day after she got cleared, she got released. And then Santos, the Santos situation,
it's kind of like a new contract.
Yeah, with him, it's like because he was already gonna leave, but then they renegotiated, brought him back, and then they basically stuck him in AAA. He got injured, and they still had done nothing with him, and then you release him. So it's like you played ping pong with his contract situation where he could have been flourishing elsewhere. It makes no sense.
He already said he's going to CMLL.
Then he's definitely gonna be on AEW.
And then. When you think about it, Kairi Sane got disrespected because she was in a current storyline where it looked like they were going to turn her babyface, so she got disrespected. The fact that you had Aleister Black, who could have benefited by being the one that was behind the Randy Orton stuff, rather than Pat McAfee.
Absolutely.
You could have built a storyline between Aleister Black and Randy, but you didn't do that. You gave it to Pat McAfee when that backfired.
You could have also had, like, he could have been that fucking source trying to turn Sami Zayn dark. Or like,
no.
Exactly.
Nope.
Why? Karrion Kross?
This goes all the way back. Karrion Kross was right the entire time. Because you see how this culminates into Sami actually doing the whole hill. Kross. This was long time storytelling, and you got this kind of goes in line with the Kairi Sane thing because stuff that could have been paid off is being paid off without the person there that needs
That
to be
started
there.
it.
Yeah.
And,
Between Karrion Kross or Aleister Black, but yes.
And
no,
then it's like,
the Randy thing can still happen, but you know, of course, if it does pay off, Black won't be there.
and then
Yeah.
it's like, like you said, Lil Dizzle, they disrespected Zoe because like I was hyped for her return because I'm like, where the landscape of the mid card titles were, she would have been an amazing addition to the Intercontinental Championship. You're telling me Becky and Zoe couldn't have a great feud? They already had an amazing feud. You can have her and Lyra, her and Liv, her and Raquel, her and Roxanne. You could plug her in a multiple amount of places. You could have elevated her to the main event scene. Her facing Stephanie Vaquer, her facing Liv, her on SmackDown facing Charlotte, facing Jade. Like, how are we not doing anything with her? Like, I don't get it.
Or so, how did you just throw it? I'm still
In
stuck
the
on
tag
that.
division, you had the Wyatt Six have an amazing debut that people were talking about for months. For months. And what did they do? They literally gave them the tag titles and did nothing. You put them in this forever feud with the MFTs that did nothing for nobody. It didn't make the main card. It didn't do anything. It didn't excite anybody. It was a forever feud, filling time on a 3-hour SmackDown because they couldn't fill a 3-hour spot. So they said, okay, let's put the MFTs and the Wyatt Six week after week after week, when we should be telling a compelling story with them as this methodical force to be reckoned with their whole purpose was taking down people who betrayed their families. I would have personally loved for them to continue that trajectory. They could have interacted with the Judgment Day, knowing their history with a lot of those guys and women turning on their friends, Liv turning on Rhea. You could have done so much with that. You could have put in Alexa Bliss in this spot, and we could have got Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. Maybe you could have did Nikki Cross, and you could have done Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Alexa and Nikki Cross for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. That would have made sense if we were telling a story, compelling story going into WrestleMania. But they waited so long and did the total opposite and waited till the last moment possible to do something. Like, what are we doing? And the tag team titles didn't do anything. They didn't defend them until they lost them. And now they're released. I don't know what they do, but if I'm looking at the companies right now, people would say AEW. I don't think they would fit just because of their characters. I say TNA because I think TNA would probably be a little bit more easier for them to play with, especially when you have the Righteous down there. I think the Righteous and the Wyatt Six kind of being a partnership. That's something.
But all of them are going to be,
MLW.
Separate entities. I don't think they're going to be together at all. Because Joe Gacy's already making his move. Because he had a little vignette that he had put together. So
so they probably put like Dexter and Nikki probably in TNA. Probably that's probably what you do with them.
Oh no, didn't Nikki say she was running back and like doing
her and Big Damo are running a promotion together.
Yeah,
they had but hey, speaking of not knowing what to do, they officially announced that Rhea Ripley will not be able to participate in SummerSlam. So on SmackDown, they announced that, hey, we're going to do a women's ladder match to determine the interim WWE Women's Champion.
Oh, the interim. Okay, finally we're getting this interim.
But here's
we're doing the interim.
It's
like
favoritism.
the woman can't be champion. They're going to be interim because
You see, I'm so sick.
shows.
Like, why do some people have to drop the belts and then other people just get the privilege of? Oh no, they just become the interim while you're out.
Exactly.
No, it's like the thing is, it's the
but
problem.
as we see, go ahead.
There's several problems here. The fact is, you have Rhea Ripley just sitting out, not defending the title. But like, why? What is so hard about just taking the title off of her and giving someone else this opportunity?
That's
She
what I was
can
getting
easily
at.
come back and say, "I want that championship back." You could have.
Yeah, I want the belt I never lost. Yeah.
Exactly. They ran that exact story when she tried to come back to face Liv. They did that exact
Yep.
thing. So what's so hard about it? Why is it so hard for them to take the title? Oh, it's because it's complete favoritism. They don't want to take the title because she's too popular. I don't care about that. And then I'm looking at the qualifying match that we've had so far. Somebody explain to me, what is Tiffany Stratton doing here? JC Jane should have been in this spot. I get it. Tiffany Stratton is from Minnesota, but couldn't we find something else for her to do?
Because the Saudis love them some Tiffany Stratton, man, and they are shareholders.
I'm already looking at the other spots. We know Charlotte's going to get added. We already know that. The other two, I don't know. I don't know who the other two are going to be. If I'm making a personal prediction, I say add either Julia or Jordan Grace, and have someone like a Chelsea Green in this spot. Why? What are we doing? You could have had the perfect heel in JC Jane here.
And then funny enough, JC lost the match to Tiffany. But in my head, and once again, my fantasy booking with this, if they really wanted to do something special, have it a 5, 6, 7 woman ladder match and fill it with women that never won the fucking championship.
Thank you.
Guaranteed a brand new champion.
Yes.
You could have made it.
And then you don't have to even hype them up too much because they're just going to be the fucking interim champion.
You know who?
Easily throw them away.
If I'm looking at who I would put in there, Jordan Grace is going to be in there. You're going to put Chelsea Green. You're going to put Raquel and Lyra. Lyra Valkyria and Julia.
Nah, with Lyra being on Raw, you could have kept it strictly SmackDown. It could have been Kiana, Julia, Chelsea, Jordan, JC, B-Fab, Meechin. You got a combination of all these women that have never held
Candice LeRae,
a world champ. Candice LeRae that has never won a world championship in WWE. They could have did a mixture of all of them on SmackDown and figure out, hey, we're going to pick the best 5 to 7 of y'all, have this ladder match. That way it guarantees one of y'all women will be in the record books as WWE Women's Champion. But
I'm okay as long as Julia and Chelsea Green is in this match.
Panic butt.
Yeah, it's a big problem because thinking about it now, and I don't know why I didn't make this comparison or correlation a long time ago, but thinking about how Papa H used to book Black and Gold NXT and how it always seemed like he had a plan whenever he needed to call an audible, and it's almost like when nobody's watching, you're free to do whatever you want. But being on the main roster, and it's like, okay, well, now I have to worry about, okay, well, if we do put the title on this person, is it going to make waves? Is it going to make money? Is it going to be popular? Whatever. It's hard to make those experimental decisions. And I hate that that's the case because WWF was never like that. You know, Vince McMahon would take anybody during that time. Now, granted, yes, over time, even Vince made the decision to where it's like, okay, I'm going to make the safe decision. Cena, Roman, so on and so forth. But during like Attitude, pre-Ruthless Aggression era and stuff like that, it's just there was no shame in trying to make like a Mick Foley a champion, making Stone Cold champion, making The Rock champion, giving anybody else that needed to putting the tag titles on the fucking headbangers. Everything seemed to make sense because it's like, hey, if it's popular, if it works, cool, let's do it. If it's not popular, if it seems like there's a buzz there, let's do it. There are so many women on SmackDown, and I hate having this long-winded portion of this, but it pisses me off the fact that we can see this as fans watching this. And this is going to be part of my get it off your chest later on. And I thank Leo for adding that, is the fact that for them to say that they pay attention to the shit and still not be able to say, hey, let's just give this shit a shot here.
And the funny thing is, when I watched Unreal, they even put the clips of fans saying this booking is trash when they had John Cena tap up to Gunther. And guess what? They had it in the actual Unreal. And guess what Triple A said? He said, I thought it was great.
No, he didn't.
That's fine. And
he said that.
And you know, and that's subjective. That's subjective. That's fine. If you believe that that's the right way to go, that's fine. But learn from the shit if it doesn't go that way. You may like it, but but you're not an audience of one. And you can't operate like an audience of one. You have to be able to book towards your fans. And I get the thing that where he says, hey, you got to trust in the process, trust in the story. I'm cool with trusting the process of the story, but if the story is going to be the same thing that I said it was going to be 6 months before the culmination of it happened, then I'm not going to be happy about it, because all you did was just reaffirm the assumption that I had from the very fucking beginning, that this shit was not going to be good once it goes to the end of the shit.
And not even that, but it's like, why are we doing all these stories for so long? I get it. I like me some long-term stories, but not every feud on across the board needs to be 2 years running. At this point, we should have been way past the Bloodline saga. We should have been past the Judgment Day saga. Yeah. All of these guys should be doing their own thing, but we need to go back to
like 2 years ago
because we're in panic mode because we can't sell tickets. Because why? No, for one, your product is not compelling. If your product is not compelling, why am I going to go to this show? Why am I going to watch this show? I'm not saying every show needs to be a 10 out of 10 or a home run. I get that. Some shows are not going to be as good, but at least give me something compelling. If I'm going to a pay-per-view, I should be going into it being compelled by a story, feuds, matches, potential swerves, outcomes. I shouldn't be coming out of these pay-per-views thinking, okay, well, we did this, what's next? Oh, we did this, why did we do this when we could have done this? We looking back at the Jacob Fatu Roman Reigns feud, you could have done something compelling by having Jacob Fatu win, but you went with your tried and true with Roman Reigns every single time. And then they want to get on there and they're trying to figure out, why is it so hard to make stars? Because you're not trying to make new stars. You're putting Femi cool.
And you know what? That's a great segue into Saturday night's main event. I'm going to have this up as a representative because on the pre-show, like you just said, Trick Williams took on Laredo Kid and Oba Femi had a interview on the pre-show.
Again.
On the pre-show.
Again.
I'm sorry. Again. Run that.
Trick Williams took on Laredo Kid, and after that match, they did an interview. Stephanie McMahon did an in-ring interview with Oba Femi, all on the pre-show that was on YouTube before the main show.
Why?
Because yes.
Not even why. Where was my 20? Where was my 20?
Because WWE. That's why. WWE. That's why. But let's roll into Saturday night's main event. I don't remember the match order other than the last two segments, but Lyra, Bailey, Lyra has a new attitude. Hey, man, look here. When Bailey clocked Lyra and busted her nose.
With that forearm.
She was leaking. Yeah. She was leaking. But it added to like the persona though. I like with the visual of her blood because now it gave me a little bit of an homage to like Becky Lynch when she became the man, where it was this visual of like, oh, she can go in the ring. I get when I seen Lyra like that, when I seen Liv like that, when I get visuals like that, it just shows this element of toughness to these women. And if you're trying to go with this different version of Lyra Valkyria, right? Where she's a little bit more edgy, she's a little bit more calculated. I like that. I think you go all the way with it. Now we're telling the potential story between her and Sol Ruka for the Intercontinental Championship. She told it on Raw. And even though it was not on live on Raw, it was pretty much like during the commercial break, she told her, I made that championship and I'm coming back for that championship. So we're telling the story there. But you also have Tatum Paxley coming up. Maybe you have something with her and Tatum going after the tag titles. Maybe you keep Lyra as the singles competitor and you have her potentially be a potential Money in the Bank winner and having her become world champion by the end of the year. You can't tell me Lyra Valkyria and Stephanie Valkyria can't have a good match.
Oh no, they can. They can. It's just a matter of, are they willing to invest in it for them to do it? That's going to be the overall big thing. It's kind of like what Dizzle said. If at the end of the day, if they're not willing to take that chance, whether it whether it prevails or fails. If they're not willing to take that chance, then we're gonna always be sitting here as fans playing the what if game. We're gonna always keep playing the what if and fantasy booking game, because if the company's not willing to be like, hey, let us find a new champion, let us try to make somebody else a star, and up 2 weeks is not working, abandon it, jump ship, push the button, let it go. This never happened. Type of energy.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I'm not saying you when you when something doesn't work, you can't run with it and try to go with something else. That's fine. But at least you can say you tried something. But the problem is, I think with WWE is they are so afraid to take a risk, especially after seeing the Jey Uso stuff and how that ended. I feel like WWE is afraid to take chances. They're afraid to go against the grain. They're afraid to pivot. They're afraid to do something different. I don't understand and this is exactly why their product is suffering. They're not taking enough risk. There's no excuses why you haven't made a Javon Intercontinental Champion, a lot of their peers a world champion, Raquel a world champion, Finn Balor a world champion at this point. There's no excuses. WWE is at point right now.
There you go. There it is, man. I'm taking a drink from that.
I don't care. But here's the thing. WWE, it makes excuses. WWE will sit here and make excuses why they won't take chances, why they won't take risk. And that's like egregious to me. It's confusing to me, because your whole point is should be catering to fans, getting the fans to tune into your show week after week, tuning into Raw, tuning into SmackDown, tuning into your PLEs. But if you're continuously giving us the same old slop, no one's gonna care. No one. It isn't. Look at the ticket sales right now. You have your biggest stars on the card. You have the biggest matches right now with Roman and Seth, Cody and Punk, and you're still suffering to sell tickets because it's not compelling. Everything else is literally.
They shouldn't have been that expensive in the first place, but yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Ticket prices. I hope. Fingers crossed, because we're all from Texas. We're all Texans over here, okay? If you guys are watching this, the fact that the ticket prices went down to $25, can we please keep that around when we go to Survivor Series? Please.
No.
WWE, please keep it $25. Don't raise it $50 more. Please, no.
Now, I will give them props. As far as this match, they're going in the right direction as far as story goes. Because I mean, Soul is going to need a heel for this run, for at least to get everything started, and Lyra actually does make a better example of a counterpart for Soul versus Becky, because Lyra has an axe to grind with her being the first Intercontinental Champion and wanting to get that belt back and being put in some level of prominence. So I'm cool with that for now. They haven't messed this up, at least. I mean, it's been a long way to get here from Bayley, but we got here. But I mean, we'll get into the other women's match, because that was the only other good match out of this whole fucking show. But
there you go. Well, bringing it up.
Well, they did say they're gonna get that at some point, but not right now.
So for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, you had Brie Bella and Paige defending against Fatal Influences, Fallon Henley and Laney Reed. So to kind of give stop Dizzle. So to kind of give credence to Dizzle's name, I asked the fellas to think of some hot takes to give that maybe sprinkle throughout, or maybe we may save it for get off your chest. But one of my hot takes will be done during this. So due to distractions, interference, and confusion, Fatal Influence are your new women's tag team champions. One of my hot takes is women's tag team championships across TNA, WWE, and AEW are cursed. They're all cursed. And the reason why I say that is, the reason why I say that is, you go through the process of grouping women together who may not have been actual tag teams, make them tag teams, and then when somebody becomes tag teams, then there coincidentally are no tag teams for them to go against. Willow and Harley had all the tag teams. Thank you, Loki. Divine Dominion wins the tag teams. We got to just find women for them to beat up on. Paige and Brie Bella. Yeah, I said her name in regular volume that time. They win them tag team. They win them tag team championships. And in TNA, there's only like 3 women's tag teams in TNA. Women's tag team championships are just cursed. How about y'all focus on booking the actual women the way they should be booked and properly booked, to where you don't have to feel like, hey, let's give them some tag team titles and, give them kind of something to do and be happy while we try to figure other things out. So that's my hot takes. Women tag team championships across major wrestling companies in the U.S. are cursed. They're cursed.
But look, and I'm gonna. This is not my hot take, but I'm gonna give my little 2 cents on that. Which you have a fact. But one thing I said back then, as when I was seeing the tag team titles over for WWE, the easiest fix you could have done when we think about it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the easiest fix was to have the titles be defended on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Why didn't the titles float between all 3 shows? At one point, the NXT tag team division for the women had more depth than the main roster did. So I don't understand why we didn't do anything with that.
Leah, that rule is still in existence. They just don't do it. That about the women's tag team titles can be defended against all brands. That rule still exists. They just don't do it.
Yeah.
That's the worst. And I'm looking at this match. I knew the Fatal Influence was gonna win. Cause I said as soon as Paige and Bella decided to stick their nose where it didn't belong and cost it literally JC Jane going to SummerSlam, I knew their tag team title reign was cooked. It was cooked from the start, and it was cooked in the end. At this point, just Paige. Just go to the main event. Just go to the mid-card team. Just go to the mid-card team. Just do something there.
I know you had some comments, because I do agree this was a pretty good match. It's just,
Well, I mean, not even just about it being a good match. It was the best decision at this point.
Absolutely.
I think with the inclusion of Fatal Influence onto the main roster, this may inject some type of a fucking heartbeat in half of the women's division.
What half?
The half that's on SmackDown. I mean, technically, the overall would be a quarter.
What tag team do you have? Judgment Day, Fatal Influence?
No. I don't mean just in terms of a tag team. I just mean the women's division. Period. Because Fatal Influence, when they came on, they gave them a very nice introduction, and for them to pull the trigger is exactly what I mean when I'm like, take a chance. Now, this was an easy chance to take because nobody wants to see Brie Bella and Paige as tag team champions, nor do they want to see Nikki and Brie as tag team champions. So to put them on damn near anybody is like, yeah, okay, cool. It's a low risk situation, but it's still experimental because there's a lot you could have easily, run it back on Bliss and Charlotte, but you didn't, and that's cool because now
I do that.
You at least make Fatal Influence credible at this point, because it's like, okay, they're a force to be reckoned with. You're not wasting time with them, and that's good because you easily could have done that by having them sit and then job out to everybody. Now, JC Jane, they need to do the same thing with her, but times 5, because you can put the US title. This is something, and okay, now we're doing this again.
She's a hooper.
If this was a situation where, matter of fact, let me even take that back, because you could still do this now. You can easily put her in that interim champion ladder match and have her win this.
But she already technically lost.
I know.
Here's the thing. But here's why I said it made sense. When I was going into it, it made sense for me to think that she would be added, because I was looking at reports in the original plan for SummerSlam. If Rhea did get hurt, she was going to either defend that title 1-on-1 against Alexa Bliss, or it was going to be JC. So now that Rhea Ripley's out of the mix, you could have easily slided JC Jane in there, considering she was supposed to have been a potential challenger at SummerSlam, and she was a potential front
They
runner.
may do
to
like a
challenge
last
the title.
chance battle royal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like they still can do it because now I'm saying it's a shoe-in if they're going with just all SmackDown superstars. Then
Yeah, I
she's
think so.
absolutely going into that match. No,
Well,
like
Well, it's not
there is
ready for Raw because they would have did it this week.
well, there is a new rumor of a new SmackDown superstar.
AJ Lee.
Yeah, because couples stay together. So if
Yeah, I did hear rumors that
Chicago
AJ Lee was
Man-
probably going to join.
So if
that.
Chicago Man is now on SmackDown, you will only consider that the wife,
I mean,
Mrs. will be over there, and rumor is
Mrs.
she's
Chicago.
she's supposed to be the winner completely.
okay,
She's
look,
supposed to be the interim.
I
how
love AJ. I love AJ. Lord knows I love some AJ.
Hey, I love her more.
But absolutely fucking not. Do not
That's
put her
the-
in this match.
No,
Do not
don't
put her
do
in this
that.
match
Don't
because
do
that
that.
is the
it's not
rumor.
Oh, and-
necessary.
In this interim championship, no.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It is
No,
just
no,
not
if you were-
necessary
no,
because
no, no,
If you would have
no,
said,
no.
Not only the
said-
match, but the winner.
but here's the thing:
No.
if you would have said AJ Lee going after the U.S. Championship, sure.
I would still say no to that. But here's the reason why I'm saying that.
Wait,
because
isn't-
of- huh?
Who is the current U.S. champ? Aren't they in this ladder match?
Yeah, Tiffany.
Yeah,
The,
Tiffany
Yeah,
the
Stratton.
thing is,
That made no difference.
if AJ did more with the Intercontinental Championship, then I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll lobby for her to be in this match. But she did absolutely fucking nothing with the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm
had
not.
nothing.
Why would I want to see her rewarded with another championship, with the potential of her doing the exact same thing, especially if it's an interim? If it's an interim, oh, you can bet your ass she is absolutely doing dog shit with that championship if she wins.
Absolutely.
You
Please.
know, I could already
Because
see
watch, it's only going to be a couple more months before fucking Rhea Ripley comes back, and then it's going to be like, what the fuck?
Rhea
And then
doesn't
it's
need
like-
to be on TV right now.
And then it's like, I feel like
No, neither does her hogging the fucking belt, but here we are.
Then it's like, knowing WWE, they would give it to AJ Lee just because it's like, oh, we're getting this big monumental, big money match between AJ Lee and Rhea Ripley. But it's like, we could do this on a SmackDown for all I care. But why are we could, but like, you have talented women. You have talented women on your roster on SmackDown that could benefit by becoming champion. Candice LeRae, Jordan Grace, Chelsea Green, while lobbying, fingers crossed to win Money in the Bank.
You know what?
Julia,
I want her to at least win the fucking interim championship, if anybody. I would like to see Chelsea Green.
Oh,
finally get
if she's in it, if either her or
If
Julia,
she's
or
in
both
it,
of them
I would want her to do it. Yo, look, Julia needs to win a legit championship, but yeah,
think about
I
it.
would like to see Julia win a belt
I
regardless.
didn't see the match between her and Rhea, and those two tore the house down. Those two tore the
Wait, who and
who? Julia and Rhea Ripley, they had a match on SmackDown.
Oh yes, yeah.
They tore the house down, bro. I would love to see this match on a PLE 101 now that she's babyface. And imagine if you came back, is somebody really, I know we're rambling, but this needs to be said, and I don't like this, and you guys won't like this either. Someone is lobbying for Rhea Ripley to pull a Brock Lesnar 2019 Money in the Bank move by her coming down there and pushing the ladder over, walking up the ladder in 2 minutes and pulling down the championship.
Oh, then they got to give us a
If you
Chelsea
do-
Mania
if
after
you
that.
do
Then.
oh,
I agree.
if Rhea Ripley does that, brother. If Chelsea Green's on the verge of winning that championship and Rhea Ripley comes down and pushes her off the ladder, Rhea Ripley's first off, she's a heel. Second off, I
Sorry,
don't want to hear
Mustafa Ali.
anybody complaining.
Mhm.
Second off, I don't want to hear anybody complaining and acting as and trying to defend this because that was actually slop if they do that, bro.
Facts.
Mustafa Ali should have won in 2019. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anybody, you can make a case for a lot of those men that was in that match that year. Andrade, even though he's Intercontinental Champion, would have been cool. Ricochet would have been cool. Drew McIntyre would have been cool. Finn Balor would have been cool. But what did they do?
Well, I mean,
They hit the panic button.
Now, technically, in their defense, Mustafa got hurt, and they did pivot from that point. So because he was that spot at Mania was meant to be his. So in all fairness, but it did work out for Kofi. So it's kind of it's hard to not root for both situations, but I think Kofi deserved it more given his tenure in WWE. But it is messed up that Mustafa didn't get a chance after the fact. But you know, he was lined up to do it.
Hey, you know what? You know who else ain't getting a chance? Goddamn JD Madonna.
Oh.
That goddamn JD Madonna.
No.
You mean Dominic Mysterio doppelganger?
The only thing JD needs to be getting ready for is getting ready to be part of Shrek 5 when it comes out. That's the only thing I need to be seeing. I need to be seeing Lord Farquaad in my Shrek 5 movie.
In your what movie?
Ready for.
Shrek 5.
Shrek 5. When Shrek 5 comes out, I need to see Lord Farquaad. I need to see Lord Farquaad ready to move.
Wild.
But we knew this was going to happen.
Short,
I knew they were going to do Dominic and Danhausen. I knew they were going to do that. Somebody even said, "Don't be surprised if they win the AAA title."
I'm gonna get there. Hold on. So Danhausen took on JD Madonna in a no DQ match at Saturday Night's main event. Of course, most of the match ended up becoming 2-on-1 because Dominic was out there. The Meatinghausens at one point attacked, and then during some chaos and confusion, Danhausen goes to his cloning machine. He puts a cat in there, and out comes Karl Anthony Towns of the New York Knicks, the NBA champion New York Knicks, and he proceeds to help Danhausen gets the dub. Cat and Danhausen celebrate, and then on Raw, they're still trying to get their money back from Danhausen, and Danhausen is just like, I don't know what you're talking about. So pretty much they made this match for SummerSlam, Dominic versus Danhausen, and pretty much if Dominic wins, Danhausen has to pay that money back. Since and for those who don't know, they paid Danhausen money so he can curse Obafemi to not win when he went against Dominic. So that's why they want their money back. So, but pretty much, if Danhausen wins, he doesn't have to worry about paying back nothing. But if Dominic wins, then Danhausen has to pay back the money. So that is why this match is going down at SummerSlam.
I knew it was going to happen. But then I will say this. Having Cat is, and this is my personal opinion, when it comes to celebrity involvement, this has probably been one of the better uses of celebrity involvement, in my personal opinion. Yes. Because when I look at Jalen Brunson being the final visual, I'm just like, why am I going to watch this show?
Wait. Put a pin in that one, because boy, oh boy, we're going to get that. But yeah, and before we get there, the real main event, Jesus Christ, was Cody Rhodes, Chicago Man Punk, taking on Gunther and Sami Zayn. Now, the caveat to this match, if Gunther and Zayn wins, then the match at SummerSlam becomes a fatal four-way. Y'all can all guess how that went. But the closing moment was right when Gunther was going to get the 3, Nick Aldis pulls the ref out, and everybody's like, oh my God, Nick Aldis, what are you doing? And then due to more distractions, interference, and chaos, Nick Aldis hits Gunther with the belt. 1, 2, 3.
Pins him again.
Cody pins him again.
Gunther just can't seem to get a break when it comes to Cody Rhodes. He ain't pinned that man not one time. But I wanted to see a fatal four-way. I wanted to. Yeah. I wanted to.
The match at SummerSlam stays 1-on-1. Now, per the SummerSlam kickoff between the beef, we now also have this added to SummerSlam. The Ring General Gunther takes on Nick Aldis. And shout outs to Before the Bell podcast, and they brought up a good point. They have done a shit job to let us know that not only Nick Aldis is a former wrestler, but an accomplished wrestler. So, to everybody now, it just looks like Gunther is about to take on the GM. But those who, of course, this is the biggest if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Nick Aldis is like that dude. But they are doing a shit job with letting us know that hey, Nick Aldis is that dude.
Yeah, you know what's funny about this whole situation? The moment that he gets into the ring with Gunther, people are gonna have that whole idea of like, God damn, that general manager fit as fuck. Because
Right?
because the thing is, and this is to go back to the TNA days when he was Magnus. And it's like you talk about one of the best bodies in professional wrestling.
Yep.
And still to this day, with that, it's this is the one thing that I don't want to happen, because I don't like if all this loses, which he more than likely will, I don't have a problem with that. My thing is, I don't want this to be a novelty match where it's a one and done. I really want them to get with the shits with all this and go ahead and just and go full throttle with the shit.
And just have him just become a wrestler now.
Yeah, even if it's for like a year run or whatever, man, like that. Like, I want him to have this. I want him to get a WrestleMania moment.
I think
he deserves it.
I think just seeing the rumors and what I think the story's where it's gonna lead to, I honestly do think either we might get in an interruption from either Sami Zayn, because Sami might feel a way that he didn't make SummerSlam because of Nick Aldis getting involved here, or we might get Drew McIntyre getting involved because we know Nick Aldis and Drew have had a lot of history too, and especially if you're trying to continue the story where Nick Aldis is slowly but surely getting back to being a full in-ring competitor. This is another match that you could do with it. And I think this is going to be the first of many, because now, and I was just thinking about this earlier, if we do make Nick Aldis an actual wrestler, which you honestly could, there's so many matches and so many things you could put him in. You could put him in the Royal Rumble. You could put him in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Put him in the Chamber. You can have him compete against a Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship or a CM Punk. Especially if you do give it to back to Cody, especially All In.
Who's going to be his replacement as GM?
William Regal.
No, you go. Well, I mean, you could unless you want to do
Pierce running both shows.
Yeah. I mean, technically he was doing it before.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So
you either do William Regal. You could do William Regal, maybe. I don't know if he's still doing his NXT duties in NXT. It looks like more like Robert Stone and stuff like that. So maybe you do that with him for NXT.
Fuck Robert Stone.
On SmackDown.
Dizzle's favorite wrestler.
No. Or now this is a long shot. Consider he was a former GM in like 2018, 2019 for 205 Live. I don't know what he's doing currently. Drake Maverick.
I know he's running like a little wrestling school, but nah, I think
just let the little leprechaun that could run SmackDown and run with the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
That's all you
They'll figure that. They'll figure that.
Pissy Maverick.
But now circling back to what Leah was alluding to, that wasn't the final thing of Saturday night's main event. This was Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson, and this was about 30 minutes. No, it was just Roman Reigns acknowledging Jalen Brunson. It wasn't a fight. Minutes. It was 20 because I was about to say this was about 30 minutes of bullshit.
Because
the only reason why this. Okay, so Jaeger, I almost said the government. I'm gonna literally walk
not
you
the
through
government.
this whole segment.
Not the government title.
I almost said the government. I'm gonna walk you through this whole segment from start.
Please do walk me through this shit.
So pan the camera backstage to Jalen Brunson. He's walking the halls of Madison Square Garden, and he's seeing different posters and pictures of certain WWE superstars and moments and things. And then midway through, like right around Gorilla, he meets up with Roman Reigns, and Roman looks at him. Jalen looks at Roman, and he's like, "Hey, you ready? Well, let's go out there." They go out there, side by side, just walking out there, They get to the ring. Roman does his whole speech and everything, and he was like, "Hey, as a champion, you deserve hardware." So he gives Jalen Brunson a custom WWE World Heavyweight Championship, New York Knicks style and everything. And you're pretty much with the Knicks colorway. And you know, Jalen, he has the belt. They hold it up. They're like, "Yeah, we're both champions." Yeah. Then Seth Rollins' music hits.
But it's Tyrese
Out comes
Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. And he comes out, and now they're looking like, boo, boo. There's a Pacer in the match.
You know what they should have did?
There's a Pacer, boo.
Nah.
Well, hold on. Then per distraction, you got to have distractions. Seth Rollins comes out, starts beating up on Roman. So, right when now this what makes the whole segment funny. Jalen Brunson is just standing there. He's been giving no emotion the whole time. Now, granted, I understand that Jalen Brunson's personality, because even when they won the championship, he was really giving no emotion. He was just like, I'm a champion. We won. Yeah. The whole time he's just standing there looking at this go down like, what do I do? What's supposed to happen? Now, granted, I understand his hand is damaged. He's hot commodity. So they don't want to risk any injury with him. I get it. But right when Seth is about to stomp Roman, he stands in the way. And then Seth Rollins is like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Roman gets up. Superman punched Seth Rollins. Blah, 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 blah. Roman and Jalen are in the ring triumphant. Seth and Tyrese Halliburton are on the apron upset. They leave. Then it cuts back to Roman and Jalen still celebrating. And you know what they do, Jaeger? To finish the segment off, they bring in the Larry O'Brien NBA trophy in the ring. And Roman looks at Jalen like, can I hold it? Pause.
What the fuck?
And Jalen was like, yeah. So Roman puts the New York Knicks championship around Jalen, then gives his championship, put it on his shoulders, then picks up the Larry O'Brien trophy, waves it off in the crowd. End of the show, we can go home happy. Thank you, Pyro. End of the show, we can go home happy. Now, there may have been a couple of details I missed here and there, but that was pretty much 20 minutes of just bullshit.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If they wanted hate from an NBA player in New York, they should have got Tyrese Halliburton. You know what they should have got? They should have got Trae Young. Because Trae Young, those fans would have gone ballistic.
They should have got Trae Young instead of. Since Halliburton has already been integrated, I mean, don't forget Halliburton and Brunson are in 2K. So you are absolutely right with the Trae Young thing. But yes, that was the full segment. Yeah.
I'm not going to use my hot take on this, but if I wanted to, I would. This segment right here is going to go down in one of the worst segments of the 2020s. I don't want to hear it. This is one of the worst segments I've seen of the 2020s, period.
I will solely agree with you. I have no disagreement in that.
Is Roman Reigns a Make-A-Wish kid? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, he does have leukemia, so you know.
The only wish that needs to be. There's two wishes that need to be made. One wish is to make sure this segment never happened a day in my life. The second wish that needs to be made is take the title off Roman Reigns immediately. After seeing a worst segment like that, just take the title from him. Just.
I didn't know that we could get full circle to just hating Roman Reigns because of him just being the one that's being forced down our throats.
Oh, I don't hate Roman.
But hold on.
No. Because getting forced down your throat is a pause-worthy thing. Is a thing to say. Pause too. But like, we hated Roman Reigns like a good 5-6 years ago.
7.
Then he was hot for like 1 or 2 years with the bloodline, and then he just went right back to going like, oh, this motherfucker again.
But no. This is the thing. They purposely did this at Madison Square Garden because Michael Cole kept saying this is the first time Jalen Brunson has been in the MSG since they won the championship. So this is the thing. nobody was booing this. The fans was eating this up. It was us at home. Was like,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you were not in Madison Square Garden, you were like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
Oh,
the
I
fans
was
eating
literally
this up.
looking at that. I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, "What am I?" And mind you, I'm live streaming this. I'm streaming this, and I'm just like, "What am I watching?"
And it
After
is
we were
the
seeing
show.
some solid stuff, and then what made it even worse?
What'd you
is
say it ends with?
Roman Reigns.
This was the end.
Roman Reigns. This was the end of the show. Roman Reigns holding up an NBA trophy while Jalen Brunson's holding up Roman Reigns' world title with pyro going off.
Yep. This was the end.
Like, I'm sitting here, I'm just like, couldn't this have started the show? Couldn't this have started the show?
No.
I think people probably would have been. I think people. I mean, people would hate on it regardless, but at least people wouldn't hate on it this much because they at least started the show. It's not the final visual that's ingrained in our minds when we turn the TV off.
No, you leave it off the show completely, and then you take the time that it was spent, and you look at the people that's sitting back in catering, waiting for a spot in a professional wrestling show, and you let them do what they're paid to
and
do.
Laredo Kid.
At least they got on the show.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them
for
actually having a match. That's fine. But when you have
But
shit
you got
like
Javon
this,
Evans sitting there.
I mean,
no.
yeah.
The pre-show stuff could have been this stuff's time slot.
Absolutely.
Everything
could
that
put
was
this
on
in the
the
pre-show.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
You know what?
That I will agree
do
with.
what they used to do. You could have made this a pre-show. You could have do what they used to do. Have this be a digital exclusive after the show goes off air. At least I don't have to worry about seeing it.
For our you know, I'm gonna do this one for Juggs because you know he's not with us today. But we did have a debut. Well, we had a wrestling debut and a debut on this past NXT. And for those who are familiar with this young lady's game, she officially debuted now under the name of Reina Volkan. And boy, Shawn Michaels is never gonna beat them allegations.
What?
So Juggs, this is for you in your horny prison. But yeah, Reina Volkan just decimated Skylar Ray. I'm telling you, boy, that LFG, they need to get rid of that because the people from LFG are doing terrible. Terrible.
Garbaggio.
But we also
LF go. Anyways,
right? We also want to acknowledge that sometimes when people debut, they debut with just great fanfare, then they put them in certain situations. And as an avid NXT watcher, I do want to give my condolences to Naraku because I'm sorry, big dog. It's over for you, big dog. They did you dirty. They did you dirty. Like you lost twice. You lost twice to Tony D. You ain't getting that championship no time soon, big dog. I'm so sorry.
Why are they doing the Japanese wrestling? I'm telling you, WWE always hates any wrestler that got big in any other promotion besides WWE.
Like,
no. Nah, it like mind you, his saving grace is pretty much.
There are exceptions, clearly. Like Ricky Saints, freaking Ethan Page. Like there's plenty of people. Like, I should not say there's plenty, but there are clear exceptions. But like when they don't know what to do with your gimmick and you have an already established gimmick, they just throw you to the fucking wolves.
This was messed up about it, Jaeger. Naraku has had less than 5 matches. 2 of them were NXT championship matches.
Yep, and lost
both.
both. And his only saving grace right now is if he wins his North American Championship from Miles Bourne. That's his only saving grace right now.
That's a possibility. But yeah.
But and I'm not even trying to make this sound like a racist thing or anything like that, but Shinsuke said it best. If you can't speak English, they probably not gonna do nothing with you. Like, I'm not saying he can't get better at his speaking, or you can do how there's words to work around it, but they're not doing that. I've noticed WWE is not going to push you if you're not able to master both languages. If you are an international sensation like a Stephanie Vaquer or a Julia, if you're not really able to do what you need to do, they're more likely not going to push you because they feel like you can't be at that spot.
And the fucked up crazy part is this is EO's husband they doing this to.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
That's why I thought he was gonna like do well.
That don't mean nothing. No.
No, clearly it doesn't.
Yeah,
clearly it doesn't.
Look,
this whole thing about them with the language barrier. At this point, there's no excuse because we've already had the example of them making something work, but then not pushing it. Shinsuke, and I will beat this dead horse over and over again.
Yes, for fire.
When they did the Japanese vignettes of Shinsuke, where he was out here like an anime villain, that was the best booked Shinsuke that they did absolutely nothing with.
I'm so sorry. What happened to AJ Styles?
there is nothing that you can tell me that's gonna make me believe that they can't do the same thing with somebody else. Because again, if you're going to sit here and tell me that the E in WWE is entertainment and you can't push something entertaining even with the language barrier, then you know what you need to do. Stop hiring people that can't speak English or do a better job at pushing people creatively. There's no excuse. You either do one or the other. If you can't do this, then don't bring them in if you're not going to do anything with them, because if that's the case, they're better off where they were. Shinsuke, better off in NXT. I'm not going to say he was better off in Japan because they did good in NXT. Evil, better off in New Japan. You could have let him just go to AEW if he was going to end his contract. Asuka, Kyrie, and again, I'm going off on a tangent. The Kabuki Warriors, one of the best, arguably the best women's tag team. They were doing perfectly fine.
Get them bars out. Get them bars out.
Naraku is DOA. There's nothing, there's nothing that you can do with him right now that's going to, because the thing is, if you didn't do anything with him in NXT, they are absolutely not going to care. They're not going to care about him on the main roster. Matter of fact, the only thing, and this is the biggest fucking Hail Mary, the only thing you can do at this point, and there is no exceptions. This is the one thing. This is the Doctor Strange 1 in 4 million.
Pair him with his wife.
No, not at all.
I mean, you could, but yeah.
No, you could do that, but it's not going to go anywhere because EO's not even pushing the needle. Finn, you let Finn have, because I said this months ago.
Resurrect a little.
Yeah, do some type of formation
situation.
And you bring and you put together the people that they ain't doing shit with.
Now, apparently, Hiromu is supposed to join Naraku at some point. That's still rumors.
You stay. Tear your contract up. Tear the contract up. Don't even show up. Don't come to work.
Jaeger, I know you said Naraku and EO or whatever the case is.
You can do the intergender.
And you said they're not doing right by Naraku. No, I was saying you were saying how this is supposed to be EO's husband and they're not doing anything with him. You said it's crazy. Case in point, prime example, Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Naomi, world champion. Jimmy Uso can't even get a mid-card championship.
She got pregnant.
You already know. I'm talking about Jimmy Uso. Yeah. Jimmy Uso, Naraku. They can't.
That's true though. They did put the rocket on Jay instead of Jimmy, and I feel like they could have given Jimmy his time.
Jimmy had all the stuff. He had the yeast stuff and all that. But Jay, he just took it and he got popular off of it.
Well, that's not Jimmy's fault. Jimmy's situation was a product of circumstance because he got hurt during the initial bloodline stuff, so they had to push Jay.
That is true.
And then once they already had the rocking on Jay. He comes back and then he plays second fiddle to Jay. But then they put him in the tag team. They start doing that shit. Bloodline gets up there, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt again, and then they don't do anything with him after that. Jay gets pushed, Jimmy doesn't, and then when you try to push Jimmy, nobody cares. So at this point, it's a little too late for Jimmy. The best thing that Naomi did for Jimmy was allow him to get a big gym chant when she announced she got pregnant.
Pretty much.
That's as good as it gets for his singles run. But yes, he's the better wrestler. He's the better talker when it comes to the two. And his music's better.
cares.
I like Jimmy's music better than Jay's.
Oh yeah, like I was born.
I agree.
Like that song is way better. Like what are we talking about? Hands down. I'm putting that song over anything else.
Now, to keep this going, now after Tony D wins, and as Tony D is celebrating, we get some music interrupted, and this superstar comes out through the crowd and debuts in NXT. And I knew something was fucking fishy because Vic never said his name the whole time. And I was like, well, they're doing the Ricky Starks thing again, or Nikki Blackheart. We don't know what his name is going to be, y'all. Because
now here's the stupid shit. Here's the stupid shit real quick. This is what I had. Now, first off, I called this whole thing to the T. I said, this is exactly what was going to happen.
You did.
Now,
sorry, Naraku.
Here's the stupid shit about it. Because NXT and WWE are acting like we are dumb as fucking shit. As if this whole TNA NXT partnership hadn't happened. As if Mike Santana wasn't wrestling on NXT, about a month ago?
No,
they just hit us with the neuralizer. We don't know who the fuck this dude is.
Yeah, because Mike Santana had joined was it OTM? No. Who did he tag with in New York like 2-3 months ago? He tagged with some team. So you're right. We did just recently get Mike Santana.
Something like that.
No, it was an NXT.
It was on
New
NXT.
York show,
yeah.
And
it was this year for sure.
Yeah, it was like OTM and Mike Santana taking on Dark State. Yeah, like it was like a few months back. It wasn't that long ago.
And so it's not like you couldn't have let him keep his name.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm cool with anybody, having a name change. That's fine. The problem is he's been on NXT TV as Mike Santana, but then to treat him as if this is the Big E shit all over again. This is exactly what this is.
Pretty much.
Because it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like now, I'm happy. I'm happy Santana is there.
You called it. Yep.
I'm happy Santana's there.
Right?
It was Mike Santana and OTM versus Dark State.
Yeah,
and that was in New York City.
I was like, that was like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I'm happy Mike's there. He this is the spot that Javon should be in right now because this is gonna be
started, bro.
This is gonna be your top guy in NXT.
Hey, start bringing up them old wounds.
This is gonna be your top guy in NXT moving forward.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely. And
yeah,
see, situations like this tie into what I was saying last week with shiny new toys. How can we expect people like Naraku to be champion when it's like, boom, we landed Mike Santana. He's more marketable. He can speak English. How are we going to push Fiends and all these other people when we always got shiny new toys coming in?
Yeah.
And this is a prime example.
And you said, this is the one thing, and even though y'all already brought up the old room, I still fail to understand how did they not capitalize on my twin, bro? Are we saying he's not marketable? It's not at that point.
Look, the funny thing is, the same way you feeling about Javon, especially NXT, they doing the exact same thing with Jada Parker. How the fuck Jada Parker ain't not won no championship?
Because she fucking Jay.
But that was, you know what?
So because she mentioned the Uso, so they said no.
Touche.
Bruh.
Now
They said you fucking with a married man, you ain't going nowhere.
now
Right
this
here.
Sunday we do have AEW Redemption, so we're going to briefly talk about some of these matches that are going on. And thank you, Loki. And funny enough, I got like my other two hot takes during this while we talk about this, which is funny enough.
After this.
Okay. So we do have a buy-in. I don't know necessarily they was like celebrating 80 years of the Raju Wrestling Dynasty. I don't know what all that entails, but hey. We do have a six-way ladder match where the winner is going to get a title shot, I think, of the International Championship, which that's a crazy way. But so far, you got Commander, Jack Perry, Speedball, and the Beast Mortos, and there's be two other competitors announced for this. And once again, the winner gets a shot at the International Championship. Officially, after Collision, the Painmaker, Christopher Jericho, and the Blackheart, Tommaso Ciampa, will be a no-holds-barred, which, whatever, fine. One match that I must have missed, how the fuck did this even happen? And I know it culminated yesterday. Death Riders of Moxley and Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks. Did I miss why this match is even happening?
Look, you know what? You missed the reason there. You missed why a lot of these matches are happening. Because I'm looking at this card, I'm just like,
it was the cold open for the show where
there are two words.
It was the cold open though, where they talked about like how this was happening, and yeah, they just, I don't know, and they just mentioned that the match was happening, and like Ospreay and Kenny are like, all right, cool, whatever. And then Moxley shows up going like, he's like, I hope this isn't going to be awkward for you. And he's like, not unless you make it awkward. And yeah, it got weird.
Well, so I saw that, but I'm still trying to figure out why is Mox and Ospreay taking on the Young Bucks. That was I'm like,
that was that part was because of the end of the match, or end of the last match for last night.
No, this was announced before then.
Oh shit, you're right.
This was announced last night.
I was gonna say it made more sense once last night happened, but exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So what Jaeger is talking about, there was a 6-man tag. Death Riders and Kenny O took on Don Callis family, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Don Callis family. And at the end of the match, there was some miscommunication. Kenny O hit Mox with a V trigger, and then after that, it led to some scuffling and some fighting. Ospreay elbowing Omega, the Bucks and Death Riders getting all into it. It was a lot. And it was like, fine. But my hot take. Now, granted, I know AEW is still a small budding company, but I'm officially saying it as my hot take. Death Riders is my favorite AEW faction.
I wouldn't have said anything about
of all time.
There are two words when I look at this show. Creative malpractice.
Well, that's because this is a throwaway
pay-per-view. And I'm asking myself, why would anybody pay attention to this show when there's nothing to get excited about right now? There's not. We know the matches are going to be good. Cool. Looking at Kenny Omega and Kevin Knight, I don't care. But
hold on.
That's gonna be good. I have no reason.
Before we get there,
Leo, why are you talking out both sides of your mouth right now? You just said the exact same shit about WWE, and now you're trying to say this is creative malpractice with AEW. No, you still watch WWE, don't you?
Yes.
So why the fuck ain't you giving that same love to AEW?
I do. Oh, I do. I will. I do.
Lack of integrity.
But first of all, you lack of hearing in your words, Jagger, because you didn't listen. But anyway,
Tell me where.
He was
you would have been paying attention. If you would have been paying attention, you would have heard me say, I give the same stuff to WWE because I don't like the stuff that they be doing. Did you not hear for the last hour me crapping on how they handle Javon Evans and how they're not pushing certain women's wrestlers?
Handle Javon Evans?
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at this show, why am I going to be paying $50 for this? The only match you can say probably is going to be good to watch is maybe Willow and Thekla, and maybe the match between the Playmaker Chris Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa.
All right, so AEW National Championship, Mark Davis defending against Andrade El Idolo. Then you got TBS Championship, Hikaru Shida defending against Maya World, which I'm telling you, the way AEW give out title shots, it is the greatest thing ever because Maya World just saved Amanada and Bob. She gets a title shot. Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, she was the runner-up in Owen.
That is true. Again, it's true.
She already has a story going.
They're not advertising it that way.
They're not. They're showing her to be like a hero right now.
Also,
but
you got the Proto Star. Which is confusing. You got the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher defending his international championship against Bandito. Hey, whatever they see in Bandito, because he just had a title match for the Continental Championship at the last pay-per-view, and wow, he gets another. Like, they see something in Bandito, because my God.
The sad thing is, they see something great in him, but they're right now seeing it as he's great to put up against champions so they can win.
Now, once I talk about the main event, Dizzle and Yeager, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, especially Dizzle. I'm gonna ask y'all a question after I talk about the main event. But so yeah, Fletcher defending his championship against Bandito. You got the AEW champions of CNC defending against Pac and Claudio of the Death Riders. Tekla is defending.
I'm sorry, CNC.
Yeah, that's what they keep calling themselves, CNC.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Agent Cope. Yeah,
they need to change that because that means something in other terms.
Ignore it. Just ignore
I'm just saying Cajun Cope is just fine. You can keep calling them Cajun Cope. You don't need to say CNC.
Well, you know why they call themselves CNC, right? Because Cage won his name first, but every now and then Cope keeps saying his name first. So
I get it, Cajun Cope, but you don't need to put the N. You can just anyways. You need to say out Cage and Cope or Cope and Cage. You don't need to put CNC. Anyways. Stop it.
Tekla
if you don't know, y'all can Google. Anyway, don't Google if you're under a certain age.
Don't listen to Yeager. Tekla is defending her women's World Heavyweight Championship against Willow Nightingale, and of course, your main event, the god of professional wrestling. Kenneth Omega is defending his championship.
I got it.
TBS champion, the Jet Kevin Knight. Now, this is the question that I'm going to ask Dizzle and Yeager. Like I said, mainly Dizzle. Now, per last night, Kevin Knight defeated Darby Allin. He said he didn't need the Don Callis family, though he did use some distractions, interference. Well, he didn't use interference, but he did use some shenanigans and chicanery to beat Darby Allin. So him and the Don Callis family, they all had some words with each other, mainly Fletcher and Knight. And Fletcher was like, well, fine, my match against Bandito, I'm gonna make sure nobody's out there too, let alone this tag team match with myself and Okada against Brodito. All of y'all leave and Brodito wins, of course, with Okada hitting Fletcher. So now we're starting to get Fletcher and Okada. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to get that kind of fracture in the Don Callis family kind of similar to Takesha and Okada. We get Kevin Knight being, big dick energy, that, he's the one providing some real shit for the Don Callis family. Dizzle. Since you and Jaeger, but I'm gonna mainly go to you, y'all have been early adapters to Uncle Don, because that's how he got the name Uncle Don, of the Uncle Don family. So Dizzle, I'm gonna ask you to put your booking hat on. How would you book this situation between Okada, Fletcher, Knight, and Fletcher in the fracturing of the DCF? How would you book this person?
Let me start by saying this
and
first.
Hold on. And bonus question. If you had to back either Okada or Fletcher, who would you pick? So, but go ahead.
I'm gonna start by saying this, and can admit when I'm wrong on situations, and this is where trust the process has gotten the better of me. All this shit that I was talking about with Kevin Knight and this whole situation of him trying to go after this fucking AEW championship. After last night, I get it. And I was wrong. Because it's all right. It keeps things fresh. I'm cool with it. Now, the situation with the Don Callis family, it's a weird one because you can go a lot of ways and none of them lead to anything good.
Okay.
Because the Don Callis family is, at this point, it's a staple in AEW. So there's really, like, it has its place. Dismantling it puts a lot of people in an aimless situation.
Ring of Honor, baby. Oh, my bad.
And Ring of Honor is just as fucking aimless. Ring of Honor at this point is literally located in parts unknown.
That's what a lot of them go if this really breaks up. Ring of
from
Honor.
another galaxy. From another galaxy.
Right? So I mean, now of course it's not going to hurt an Okada. It's not going to hurt a Fletcher. They are made men at this point. But everybody else, yeah, they get collision bound at this point.
Mark Davis.
Yeah, all of them, and it's unfortunate.
Lance Archer. Oh, brother, he's got the worst of it.
So the thing is, for everybody else, it doesn't matter. But you have two people who's already made men, so it's like it's going to be business as usual once it dissolves. Now, this whole situation with Knight, Fletcher, and this whole like sibling rivalry type thing that they have going on, I like it. It adds dynamic because it's keeping the stable fresh. Yes. Because it's making it very unpredictable. Because of course you would think of the typical heel faction where it's like, oh, here they come, they're going to beat down some people, numbers game, whatever. This at least is absolutely going to make Kevin Knight a star because he's going to. Matter of fact, this is almost akin to The Rock and the Nation of Domination, specifically the whole Rock portion of it, because he's becoming the standout of it. And that's why I eat my words and I take back the criticism that I had on him trying to go after the world championship, because now I see it. I see the vision. Cal Fletcher is going to become the heel to Ospreay, whether he stays in the Don Callis family or not. That's going to be your main event scene going down the line. Okada is going to do Okada shit. I mean, there's no better way for me to say that, because Okada is his own entity when it comes to AEW. He's in the same category as a Kenny Omega. You can slot them in anywhere and they are going to be perfectly fine. There is no downtrend on where you put him. So how I would book this, let the river run its course and they're going to find their way. That's the best way for me to say that.
Okay. Jaeger, you got anything you want to add with it? Like I said, I know with you being an early adopter of Uncle Don's family.
It depends. Like, like Lip just said, Kyle Fletcher's definitely going to be locked in as like the Joker to Will Ospreay's Batman, or just the heel to his face, however you want to put it. If they do ever reunite, it's going to be a long time from now. The question is, how does like Okada and him reconcile? What do they do? Do they, and like, where do we see Kevin Knight? Is he going to be more of a short-term placement in the Don Callis family? Is he just thinking of the Don Callis family as a means to an end? Is the Callis family going to see that and say, okay, well, you're just using us while we are a family, and try and take that in that direction? Or take it and just eliminate him from the family because, yeah, he's not truly down with the family. It's interesting to see what they'll do whenever Kevin Knight takes the loss from Kenny, because we know that that's what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll see how that plays out, because Kevin Knight could have everything laid out. Like the Don Callis family could pretty much put Kenny on a silver platter, and then he doesn't take the dishonorable way out, or the dishonorable way to a victory. He can try and be like, no, I'm gonna beat him by myself. I don't need y'all helping me, blah, blah, blah. And then they like boot him once he loses. We'll see how it all goes. Especially because, who is his partner? Like, why is his name leaving my head right now? Speedball, Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey, yeah. It looks like he's gonna have some kind of a cameo in this coming weekend. Just because he's been sticking around, he's been having.
So
he's going to Wembley. He's going to Wembley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, let me ask this for the group: do we run back Kevin Knight and Darby, since he did win in nefarious means? Do we run back Kevin Knight and Darby before we get to Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Well,
what you're good on doesn't mean what they're gonna do. But
AEW Redemption is this coming Sunday, and that's your card, ladies and gentlemen. So now I've asked people, so this will be a special get it off your chest / hot take edition. So since he has it in his name, Hot Take Jimmy, what hot take or hot takes do you have for us today?
I thought Leo had his gun cocked and ready.
Oh, that's the case of Champ. What you got then? What you got for your hot takes?
Let's see here. Let me go through some of the ones I want. Okay, first off, 2018.
Some of the ones.
I have a few. I don't have just three. I have a few. First off on my list, 2018 Money in the Bank. Finn Balor should have won the Money in the Bank. Don't care what anybody else says.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let's go to 2019 now. Let's go to 2019. We finna double it up here. Let's see here. Who won 2019's Money in the Bank? Oh, was it Bailey? Yeah, give me Dana Brooke on 2019. Sorry. Who else? Javon Evans. Javon Evans should have been going to SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship, not Chad Gable. Sorry. He can do something else. He can open the show. He could be a host. I don't care. Javon Evans should have been in that spot. Fight me. Damn. Who else? Who else? Dean Ambrose should have won 2016's Royal Rumble, not Triple H. Who else? Let's see here. Let's who else? Let's see here. 2014. Dean Ambrose should have won Money in the Bank instead of Seth Rollins. Be a huge foil to Seth
2014?
Wait. Then we wouldn't have got the heist of the century if Dean would have won that one.
Oh well.
True.
We still got
that was the
heist of the century.
He said, "Oh,
we still got Ruse.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
That's a very hot take.
We got Ruse of the century. Let's see who else we got on this list.
we got in the wagon in the century. Anyway.
Let's see here. Roman Reigns should have won the 2014 Royal Rumble if it wasn't going to be Daniel Bryan. Shouldn't have been Batista. You should have did Batista and Brock Lesnar. I would have preferred that match. Who else is on this list that I just can't? Oh, brother, don't even get me started. CM Punk should have won the 2011 Royal Rumble over Alberto Del Rio. What are we talking about?
Back to 2011.
Don't even get me started on Baron
What
Corbin.
grade were you in at that point?
And which we're talking about here?
2011. What grade were you in?
2011. Man, I should be in 5th grade at that point, and still was pissed.
Damn.
Shayna Baszler should have won the 2020 Women's World Rumble. I was there in attendance, and I was not having it. Again, what were we doing?
Look, we all knew Charlotte was gonna win that. Come on now.
You should have. You could have just had a show up in NXT at that point. You should have had a show up in NXT. Again,
Big Loki, what up?
It's okay.
Finn Balor should have beaten Edge in 2023 at WrestleMania 39. Don't care.
I agree with that.
What?
He was a demon too. I agree.
And even if people don't want to say he shouldn't have won Money in the Bank or something like that, he should have won in 2023 during his feud with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. 7 years in the making. What are we talking about? Dominic Mysterio should have become Money in the Bank at this point and at least competed in a Money in the Bank ladder match, if you will. Who else we got on this? Drew McIntyre should have won a U.S. Championship. Dolph Ziggler should have beaten. And here's a hot take that people ain't gonna want to admit. And this includes 2 wrestlers. One is Finn Balor. Should have won the 2018 Royal Rumble and faced AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34.
I mean, at least you're back up to 2018.
Or we could have did Dolph Ziggler against AJ Styles. Because the fact that you had this man drop the U.S. Championship, come back at number 30 at the Royal Rumble, and nothing happened. You could have done AJ and Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania, and you could have made Dolph Ziggler a WWE champion. You could have done Finn Balor. I know we did this at Survivor Series, but at least we could have had a proper feud. And here's a hot take that everybody can agree with. WrestleMania 34 is one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. One of the absolute worst. Top to bottom, one of the worst.
It's historically known as, not that good. So, yeah. Well, hey, Jaeger, I'm gonna just go in the order. Jaeger, you got any hot takes?
I don't care what time of year or fucking generation that we're in right now. This is a small amount of body shaming, so just a little trigger warning here for you. Them little bands that the women wrestlers are wearing, like right below the butt cheek, to try and make it look like they got ass when they don't.
Mm-hmm. Get rid of it.
Nah, that's just as bad as a push-up bra. We can get rid of them. If you ain't got ass, just own that shit. It's okay. Like, accept your body for what it is. If you ain't got a butt, it's okay to not have a butt. Just like if you ain't got tits, you ain't got to go out there and get a boob job for the sake of the company. WWE, I'm looking at y'all with the way y'all pressure your wrestlers. Like, just love your body for what it is. You ain't got to try and put up some fake shit.
Is that the only hot take you got with us?
Well, I mean, this motherfucker went through the whole timeline of hot takes, apparently, so... Here. For the men. Remember those little fucking bicep things that y'all put up here? Y'all ain't got to rock those either. I'm looking at you, John Cena, when you used to do that shit. Anyways, I'm done.
Hot take, Jimmy, what you got?
I mean, shit. I mean, with them bands for the ladies, I'm just saying. It may not be natural, but I mean, it technically is natural. But it looks
Technically.
good. Look,
Yes
the
and
ass
no.
still jiggle if you slap it. So
Look,
I don't give a shit.
the only one who pulled it off
to the legs
successfully.
immediately.
The only one that pulls it off successfully, because she actually has ass, if she rocks them shits, is Stephanie Vaquer.
I mean, she got a little junk in the trunk. She got a little junk. In the
I would have said this. You could say the same thing for Liv. You could say the same thing for maybe Roxanne. I don't know.
Liv Morgan ain't got all that, man. That's like mostly arching her back in a funny way.
I'm not saying she's got all that. I'm just
Off
saying.
the rails is the best way possible. I love it. I love it.
I mean, you asked for a hot take. I might as well like talk about something that's gonna get some
I
attention.
was not expecting this. This is amazing. I love
All
it.
right. I have two major ones. First one.
All right, what you got?
First one is Lesnar does not deserve the hate he gets right now.
That is a hot take. That is a very hot take. Okay.
And,
Okay.
and
That's a hot take.
I'm gonna tell you why. What is he getting hate for?
The case.
For
Okay.
being a lover of golden showers.
What else?
But his man is, I mean, that's really it. There's really the
Going over certain talent, burying
That's
certain
I mean,
talent.
He loves to have some golden showers, and then called her, what was it, dirty bitch, something like that.
Okay, so okay again. So stuff revolving around the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
But again, nothing else, though, right?
Yeah.
Now,
does
now understand this, because again, this coming from somebody that read everything about it. Stuff right? No, text messages ain't right. But as far as the hate that he gets in WWE, I don't think it's deserved, especially compared to what he's done for the business then and currently.
Agree.
Because now, and I'm going to say this for this. I'm going to say this for this reason, because outside of the situation with Mustafa, how many other talent have felt the wrath of Brock Lesnar in an unfair way?
Oh, a lot.
I can name a few. I can name a few. Kofi.
Okay.
Dean Ambrose.
Okay. Whoa.
Yes, Dean. Because
Dean. Okay. No. That okay. I will concede to the Dean stuff. Because that's because with the situation with Mox with how he told that, I get that. The Kofi thing is a booking situation.
Big E.
Ricochet.
Big E is the same thing.
No. Big E, remember, Big E was supposed to have a one-on-one match, and since Brock couldn't wrestle Roman, they added all them extra people to that match, and then that's when they started going down that timeline of Brock having a championship, Roman having a championship, and eventually they give. So that's why I said Big E for sure, because Big E was a victim of it.
Now, who do we blame for that?
Roman.
Blame Vince.
Oh, of course. Vince with the final say so.
I mean, Vince, but like at the same time, we've seen how he carries himself. When I look at the visual when he threw the championship at Vince, it's like I look at him, it's like he would do whatever he wants. And it feels like seeing in a moment like that, you would think I wouldn't put it, I mean, Vince is gonna take some credit in it, but like seeing Brock throw the championship at his own boss, the person that's giving him and paying his salary, that shows he doesn't care. That's why I say Dean Ambrose. That's why I say Ricochet. That's why I say Finn Balor. I say a lot of these guys that could have benefited.
What did Brock do to Ricochet?
No. He was talking about how he just people.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about like it's and his whole thing was supposed to be working great with these younger stars and these smaller stars, and he's been having these great matches with AJ and Daniel Bryan, but as soon as he gets to Ricochet, he obliterates Ricochet. Ricochet didn't even get any offense, none. He squashed him in the middle of the ring, and after that, whatever promise Ricochet had to be a potential main event attraction or at least challenging in that ecosystem was no longer a thing after that.
Okay, but now tell me this: how many people cared about Ricochet at that time?
Not a lot.
There's a lot of
People definitely.
Nah. Dizzle is right on this
before
one.
Brock just decimated him.
No.
Yeah,
but here's the reason I'm saying that. Here's the reason I'm saying that. Now think about all the matches that he had with smaller people: Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. All those guys got good showings, even though it was a losing effort. They all got good showings.
But they were all
in
main
their
eventers
matches.
at the time too.
All the big guys. You look at Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Right now, Oba.
True.
Bobby.
Samoa Joe.
Drew. All those guys, Keith Lee, all these guys got good showings against Brock because it's the optics. If I'm Brock at that point, coming in, being the next big thing, and I've been booked that way, everything has been consistent up to that point. So if you look at all those guys up against Brock, and then you look at a Ricochet at that time, of course I'm going to look at it from a perspective of, okay, well, even if you take it, okay, we know what Ricochet can do. Now look at his accolades in WWE. Compare it to what Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles. Yeah. So at that point, yeah, it makes sense that you would get squashed by a Brock Lesnar because you're not looked at the same way as the other guys. That's why I'm saying that, because when you do a deep dive and you look at it from that perspective, it's like, can you honestly say that he deserves the heat? If we're just talking about just based off of that, off of just the case stuff, which again, public opinion, like I said, absolutely, you can go ahead and hate him all you want. But in terms of him being in the business, he hasn't done anything necessarily bad in the business. Because even if you look at somebody, if him making decisions and stuff like that, John Cena's in the same boat, Roman's in the same boat, Seth is kind of in the same boat. These guys make. Well, we ain't gonna talk. We ain't talking about Terry.
Hey, Dizzle, I just want to tell you that I love you, and you know I love you so much. But I hate the fact that you are putting me on your side with this. I really do. Like literally, I'm having a Rick and Morty moment. You son of a bitch, I mean. Like, literally, it's like, now that I'm truly, like, really thinking about it, it's like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Now, because that's always going to be a hot take because everybody, because again, it's hard to divulge from public opinion in certain situations. Now,
you can. All right, let me let you do it. I was going to say, as far as Brock goes, you can equate him in the same way that you would equate it like Vince. Like, yes, you know what? Here, let me take it away from the wrestling world for a second. Woody Allen is still universally hated and despised despite making great movies.
That is true.
You can put Vince or Brock Lesnar in a Woody Allen realm. That's not a bad thing to do.
But yeah, but that's what Dizzle is saying. If you separate the art from the artist, if you take his art as Brock Lesnar, not even that. Never did anything wrong.
Not even that, because here's that too. But here's the main comparison between the Woody Allen thing and the Brock Lesnar thing. Woody Allen did that shit, and he admitted to the shit. Brock Lesnar was speculative. Now, yeah, text messages happen, but nothing happened past the text messages. That's the difference. Now, is he fucked up in the mind for entertaining something? 1000%. But did he do anything? There's nothing that even states that he did in terms of anything physical with somebody.
Aside from the complaints in.
I mean, but that. Well, wait. No, even Janelle Grant never said anything about Brock doing anything to her.
They just said UFC.
There was just text messages.
Person.
Now, of course, if Brock has done something, now that's why I conceded to the Dean Ambrose thing, because there was that was bad business between those two because Mox wanted to create a good match and Brock didn't give him the time. And then it became a shit match. That shit makes sense. I agree with that. He's absolutely an asshole for certain situations because he picks and chooses who he wants to give time to. Now, again, Roman would do the same thing. I'm sure Cena has done the same thing, but that's a product of being at that level and being able to call your shot because you're given that power. And
wasn't it
to do that.
Cena that tried to bury? Wasn't it also Cena that tried to bury Corbin?
Because
he buried Corbin, but
I mean, he did.
Yeah.
No, because
I don't know if that was his call though.
He had something to do with it though, because mind you, Corbin won Money in the Bank, and people were actually cheering for the first time in WWE to see him cash in on Jinder Mahal. That lets you know when a heel is getting cheered against Jinder Mahal. That lets you know how much people despise Jinder as WWE champion.
The same thing was done to Damian Sandow too.
Don't forget, John Cena had a failed cash in too.
But think about this though. Here's something y'all not understanding. What has been the common denominator to a lot of these failed cash-ins? John Cena. John Cena didn't want to let Jack Swagger cash in on him to become WWE champion. He was involved with the Baron Corbin cash-in, the Damian Sandow cash-in. Do you not see what's going on?
No, but again, that's more to my point though, because if you have somebody at that level and they're called their shots, then you have to give that same vitriol that you would give to Brock, to a Cena, to a Roman, because they all have that same allowance. So that's the point of the hot take. Now the other one, and this is the quicker one.
Okay.
R-Truth should have never been brought back.
Facts.
He should have never been hired.
I hate saying it. Facts.
Now, here's my reasoning for that. I just mean brought back to WWE main roster. I think he would have been better off going to TNA, cutting his hair on TNA and doing the Ron Killings thing and had his push there. Because then he could have been champion. He could have been Ron Killings again. He could have had the same resurgence that he had when he got fired from WWF back in the day. And it would have made a world of sense as opposed to him being brought back, having some start-stop shit, and then basically doing nothing. He should have stayed fired and never brought back.
Are you blaming that on him or on the booking?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Now, I think you make a great point, him going to TNA. Now, what if by chance he decided to go to NXT?
You don't bring him back to any type of WWE. I only said TNA because that's still WWE adjacent, but not necessarily WWE. Because that means he would have had a chance to then be brought back to WWE based off his work that he did in TNA if they seen that character in work. But I don't think that he just there should have been no feeding into the fans. I think they should have kept it where he would have had that chip on his shoulder and then go to TNA and do his whole cutting off his hair and have them
kind of like Steve Austin when he went to ECW.
Yes, 1,000% Yes,
they could do that. Because I remember they did that with a few wrestlers.
Those are my hot takes.
Hey, so this has always it's not necessarily a hot take because I've always said it, but you wrestling fans, y'all really do need to start respecting Sasha Banks a lot more. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, she historically, if you look at her matches with a lot of the women, those were to this day, Ronda Rousey's best match was with Sasha Banks. A lot of those women's best matches were with Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but Ronda Rousey though.
Her best match was with Sasha Banks. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks. Bayley, to this day, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but that was a legendary rivalry between those two.
Well, I don't know.
That was even in NXT. Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks.
I mean, yeah, but some people will be saying, I've heard people say Bayley and Io was probably a better match than Bayley and Sasha. And I mean, granted, that match was good, but I don't.
They are fucking stupid.
Sasha.
They are If you say Bayley and Io is better than Sasha and Bayley at NXT Takeover, you are fucking stupid. I promise you, fucking stupid.
No, that was a fantastic run.
I mean, one other thing I would have said is R-Truth should have potentially won the WWE Championship from John Cena in 2011 at Capital Punishment. I mean, it was right there. That character was over at that point. When it just having the arachnophobia, I got arachnophobia. I don't want to climb this ladder. It was so funny, like, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Because I would have chosen that push versus Cena versus Bobby Lashley at Great American Bash. Because Truth was absolutely still ready because he had already been a world champion at that time. So, well, from TNA obviously, but you know,
and I think NWA as well too. I think he competed in NWA for a minute.
No, that's when TNA had their world title was the NWA championship. And that's what I think. Truth. Matter of fact, I think Truth is I think he's the first black.
He's
man
the first.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was.
Some loud ass keys.
Yep, it was R-Truth.
Over there, assaulting the keyboard.
Just slapping fingers on that.
But yeah, man. It's yeah, wrestling fans, y'all gotta stop tripping, man. Y'all doing too much.
Hey. This may be another hot take that it just kind of came to me because you just said wrestling fans. Wrestling fans. Y'all are the reason why a lot of this booking is happening. A lot of these booking decisions that they're making, y'all the reason why. Because you get online saying one thing, you get in the arena doing one thing, which has the company thinking, oh, well, shit. Because you got to think, WWE, thank you, Loki. Because if we're truly keeping it WWE at this point, WWE is a reactionary company. If they are seeing that, because I mean, to be fair, right? Nobody has gave a single solitary fuck other than Sami Zayn that Sami Zayn lost that title. Oh, sorry, Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae and Sami Zayn are the only ones that care. They have moved on so fast from Sami Zayn winning that title that you forgot that CM Punk won that title from Sami Zayn. Why? Because the Chicago crowd cheered on CM Punk, of course, but then the preceding crowds cheered on CM Punk. And they're still cheering Cody. So that lets the company know, well, shit, that we don't feel bad for this Sami Zayn thing. We're good. Y'all are the reason that the booking is the way it is. The reason why
who said it best?
Who was that?
Daniel Bryan. Fans are fickle. They will sit there and say they want something, but then when they do get it, they turn on it. Prime
Because 2 years ago when Raw, 2 years ago when Raw was here in Houston and my brother and I went, 2 years ago, last year, whatever it was. When that Jey Uso music hits and you see all the people in the crowd doing it, whether they hated Jey Uso or whatever, that lets the company know, well, shit, we can keep doing what we doing then.
Bunch of goddamn sheep.
And a prime example of fickleness. The prime example, I think, where I noticed fans were starting to be fickle was 2022 when Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank and won the Women's Championship. As soon as she won that title and got into that feud with Ronda after that whole botch that happened at the end, that next night next week on SmackDown, those fans were booing her out of the building, and she's supposed to be a babyface.
Yeah, because one city loved her while the other city hated her.
Well, she also it's because she cashed in on Ronda too.
Yeah, and she was kind of put in a bad position because either she was going to cash in on Ronda or she was going to cash in on Bianca. Like either one of those would have been like a lose-lose situation.
But yeah, that's my final hot take. It's the fans. Y'all are the reason that the booking happens the way it happens.
I got another one.
And then they just sit back and then they go off of that.
I just started one. Because this one actually should have happened. Kyle O'Reilly should have became an NXT champion. Just seeing how good he was in his feud with Finn Balor at the time and Adam Cole, there was no reason they shouldn't have gave him the NXT Championship. They should at least gave him a run with the NXT Championship.
Yeah, if they would have made him serious instead of making him that dopey ass fucking character that they had when he went on his singles run.
They literally made him a great value Orange Cassidy, bro. Like,
Hey, another hot take, and I'm being very specific with my words. Undisputed Era is the best WWE faction next to the New Day.
Cap, Shield, bro.
Whoa! No.
Shield.
Undisputed Era is like fucking good. No, I'm right there with you, Scoot. Fucking Undisputed Era, fucking goated.
Undisputed Era, I still put New Day over the Shield. I put New Day over the Shield.
No.
If you no. Think about this.
Take away Vince backing the Shield. Take away Vince backing the Shield. Take away Vince backing the Shield. If Vince was not the one backing the fucking Shield, where would they be? Fucking mid-card trash.
Got themselves over. Undisputed Era got themselves over.
But let's say
had it not been for the fact that we was force-fed Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, the Shield would not be where they are today.
No. Because
if you take away
100%
boss man interference,
Glazer,
the New Day naturally got over. Undisputed Era naturally got over. Once again, I understand Undisputed Era was NXT, but if you look at WWE, the New Day got themselves over.
So let's be honest here. Let's call it spade. Without Triple H's backing in the Undisputed Era, what would they be doing? The only reason why people choose
those four men together were talented as fuck. Those four held NXT down. They held NXT down
for years.
And don't forget, Adam Cole did not win that championship out the gate. He had to build up to that championship. He was still losing to Ricochet. He was still losing to other people. They lost the first War Games.
But let's
the first two War Games, if I'm not mistaken.
And this is a fact. You can say whatever you want, but the Shield changed WWE.
They didn't change shit. They didn't change shit. The Shield did not change nothing.
Yes, they
didn't change nothing.
They became they're literally the cornerstones of wrestling right now. I don't care what people are saying.
Because of Vincent.
Because all men back the shit. You could have put in Undisputed Era where Shield was, and then you would be saying Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, everybody else was the fucking cornerstone of what wrestling is today in the WWE. The same conversation you're having right now, you could have put in any other faction because Vince was backing that shit.
They literally said Cassius Ohno was supposed to be the person instead of Roman Reigns. Come on now.
Instead of Roman, I didn't hear about that. But the Shield
now, if it wasn't for
three biggest stars in wrestling,
but not by themselves, corporate backing.
Same thing, but how you
corporate backing?
The idea, three guys became one of the greatest factions and became some of the greatest single stars. The fact that you got Jon Moxley being the cornerstone, the ace of AEW right now. You got Seth Rollins, who that's
because of Jon Moxley.
Yeah, Jon Moxley got himself there.
Jon Moxley.
Here's the thing. Seth Rollins, pound for pound, is probably one of the very best in that ring that you honestly, pound for pound, is up there on par with Will Ospreay.
See.
And he had the rocket strapped to him.
No. I will agree with you with that, with Seth Rollins and Ospreay thing. But think about it. If it wasn't true, then why were they taking those direct shots at each other on Monday? Pretty much Seth saying, hey, if it wasn't for Vince, you wouldn't be at. Roman pretty much said, hey, if it wasn't for your daddy Triple H, you wouldn't be where you at. So literally, they're acknowledging
they both said that they are Nepo babies.
They're
and I get that, but we're still not going to dismiss the fact that this faction.
I will never dismiss talent and skill.
One of the greatest.
No.
They're still going down as one of the greatest factions of all time.
The New Day. The New
I'm
Day.
telling you this. I'm telling you this.
The New Day
No.
saved tag team wrestling in WWE for 10 years.
Yes. Tag team wrestling, not main event, not mid card. Here's the thing: the Shield.
You don't like that.
We're talking matches. We're talking moments. We're talking the Shield. Dean Ambrose becoming Money in the Bank, cashing in the same night. Seth Rollins became Money in the Bank, winning the title.
But they wasn't the
Roman
Shield
Reigns.
then. No. See. This is the thing. Stop thinking post Shield. The only feud everybody remembers with the Shield is when the Shield feuded with the Wyatt family.
Cap. I call
What
Cap
other
right there. You had
what other feuds?
Evolution.
But okay. To further that point, look what they had to do. Turn Seth Rollins against the group.
Did they have to do that? No. They didn't.
Oh yeah, they did, because you know why? The Shield was being fucking trash. The Shield is not that great.
Okay, we're not going to
The
do
Shield.
that. The fact that the
Shield
Shield was one of the most
a means to an end at a time when they needed some injection, because I'm gonna tell you why the Shield became what they became. The Shield became what they became because the company realized the fucked up mistake they did with the Nexus. That's why the Shield became what the Shield did, because they literally did the exact same shit the Nexus did. The only difference was, since NXT became this big pet project, because Dusty's guys and Triple H's guys and Vince looking at Roman Reigns with the most biggest heart on, because he's like, oh my God, this is a beautiful Samoan that I know I can do something with. This was the payback for the Nexus. Since the Nexus didn't take off the way it should have had, that's the reason why the Shield was in this place.
You know what's funny about this whole thing? I've sat here and listened to y'all talk, and it's been like the biggest discussion of two lies and one truth. Because only one of those things is true.
Which is?
New Day is absolutely one of the greatest, if not, well, I'm going to say one of, because I don't want to say they're the greatest, because the reason, huh? No.
I agree with one of.
Because the New Day is pretty much the modern day Freebirds, and there is no arguing that. And in some places you can argue that they're better because of the fact that they are bigger stars. Now, in terms of the Shield is not necessarily they're a good faction, but they're more akin to a great ensemble because of what they became. Undisputed Era is only as good as they are because they were in NXT. They would have not flown in the main roster. Only because and I hate and I don't want to body shame this situation. Compared to the rest of the roster, no. It's only because of Adam Cole. Because if you had
Cole being undersized,
Roderick Strong makes sense in a mid card, and then you have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly as a fantastic tag team. Those three work perfectly in their respective divisions. But Adam Cole as the leader makes sense. But when you talk about the main roster compared to any era that you have in WWE/WWF,
I will agree with that point. I will agree.
Wasn't Daniel Bryan a whole faction leader?
No.
Didn't he have a whole movement outside the Yes movement?
He just had him and Eric.
Eric Rowan. He had a heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did just have a heavy.
Yeah, it was just him and Rowan.
The faction that makes the most sense as far as one of the greats over both the Shield and Evolution and Undisputed Era is DX. And I say that because DX.
Well, that's why I said WWE.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. WWE.
And remember, WWE's version of DX was just Shawn. And,
Okay. You're crossing out the F altogether.
Yes. Yes. That's why I said I'm gonna be specific with my words by saying WWE. If I said WWF, I will never put any faction over D-Generation X.
Then if that's the case, then you would have to go OG Bloodline. I still would. I would take OG Bloodline over the Shield. The reason because they have the same makeup as the Blueprint, which DX is the blueprint for the perfect faction, which is why
I would take OG Bloodline over the Shield.
Because with that, and the only reason I stack them up against that is because you have the Usos, who is arguably the mirror image of basically it's the fucking
New Age Outlaws.
No, I wouldn't even say. Well, I mean, yes, but but in terms of family, and if we're going to tag team, Freebirds, Von Erichs, New Day, Usos.
Yep.
As far as that goes, Roman is the quintessential leader, champion. Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, you can interchange them as the mid card guy,
and then Paul Heyman as their manager.
Paul Heyman as the mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then there's your perfect makeup. That's not to say that everybody else is bad. It's just a product of Undisputed Era. If somebody else was there, or Adam Cole had some weight on him, then yes, I would absolutely concede to that. The Shield, if they were meant to be a group as far as coming together like that, because again, we already had the situation of Seth Rollins being a singles guy in FCW/NXT at the time. Same thing with Dean Ambrose, and then Roman being I forgot what his name was back during that time.
Leaki.
Yeah, it was something. But them coming together as heavies because the problem with the Shield is that they were never brought in as necessarily a faction. They were brought in as three heavies for punks.
Yep.
And that was it. Like they and then of course then they became the Authorities heavies, and then they became their own entity. Now, if they were brought in the same way as a Wyatt family, then that would have been different. But they weren't, and that's the asterisk that makes
the
them
Wyatt
not
family
even
over the Shield.
You could.
I'm
not gonna
go that low.
For me, if I take the biggest factions of WWE, I will put Undisputed Era, I'll put the Wyatts, I will put New Day, OG Bloodline before Shield. Hell, if it goes
ones that makes sense,
the only reason if some other but that's WWF. I'm talking about just strictly when they became E.
Strictly when it comes down to that, Shield is top 3.
If we talking about top 10, Shield may be in my top 10, maybe. But if we looking at really modern factions in this, that, and the third, hell, Judgment Day could damn near have a case to be better than the Shield. Not this iteration of Judgment
Not this
Day,
one. We're talking like the OG.
I want to say like
not this iteration, but the iteration that was post Edge, and that little middle ground they did when they first got when they first got Dominic.
Are we talking about like with Rhea, Damien, JD,
and Dominic?
Who else was a part of this faction? I can agree with. I would take Carlito. Now, if we're talking top 5, we're talking about not where Carlito. I'm talking about if we're talking top 5. Shield is top 5. Great, one of the greatest factions of all time. I'm not saying
of all time. Wait, of all time?
In my personal opinion, in my opinion, as far as impact, when I'm talking about it's now great, I get it. When you're talking about these other factions, what's one thing they do have in common? They may have more longevity, which I'm not going to debate you for that, because a lot of these other factions you're naming had a longer run than the Shield did. But I'm not going to sit here and say during the time that the Shield were together, they did not have an impact. The fact that they were beating some of the top names, something that some of these other factions didn't get to do. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't have done that, but I'm looking at each person's run and what they did. The Wyatt family could have been breaking through that glass ceiling to be embroiled in the main event scene, but that was not the case. When you look at the Shield, they didn't allow the Wyatt family to mix it up with a lot of the top stars like that. Yeah, they probably mixed it up with John Cena and Daniel Bryan, but that was it. The Shield was mixing up with Sheamus, Randy Orton, Kane, all these big names. That's why I give them impact, and they went on a streak that none of these other
And they
factions
was
can say
mixing
they made
up
a
with
claim
them
to.
guys when they wasn't doing shit. Sheamus wasn't doing shit at that time. Kane wasn't doing shit at that time. The Shield was a product of that era of WWE was stagnant as fuck.
And
Well,
I'm not
I
going
mean,
to sit here and
that proves
say that
Leo's
that's not the
point.
case.
But what Leo just said proved y'all's point, because if you take the criteria of all those factions, everybody kind of had the same foundation where they came together on their own and then built up from there. Whereas you had the Shield come in as heavies behind Punk and Heyman, and then you had the Authority back them. This is just storyline. I'm not talking about like backstage stuff.
Yeah,
But
course,
but storyline purposes, having that backing puts them in there. It's like the same thing as putting an Evolution together with Batista and Orton and having them be put on a pedestal with the Ric Flair and a Triple H. So that's why the asterisk is there for them, and why I don't necessarily. I mean, yes, they're a faction, but I don't qualify them in the same vein as I would everybody else because of that. That's the only reason.
WWE keep doing it.
Well, true.
So yeah,
because if I'm looking,
because if I'm being my personal opinion, of course, if I, to borrow this line from Liv Morgan, if I take factions of all time throughout all of wrestling, the Shield is probably going to be like top 50. Maybe top 30.
Okay, now you're trolling. Now you're trolling. Because if I'm looking at all time,
you're talking about a man who's going to be 40 in 2 months. I've been watching wrestling for 30. We talking about Four Horsemen. We talking about NWO.
20 plus.
We talking about Ravens Flock. We talking about the Bullet Club. We're talking about shit. Damn.
We're talking WWE.
Oh, you going? Okay, you're going all time. I thought we were just talking about WWE. But
that's what I said.
Mind you, if you would have said all time first before you said like WWE, I would have totally agree with you.
Oh no, I still stick by what I said.
He still means as far as like the conversation goes, but he was just he was saying like in his top 50, he's saying top 50 of all time.
But if I take WWE
all time,
but yeah, if I'm talking about, when I say WWE, when they changed their name to WWE up until now, the Shield is not as great as y'all think they were. The members are amazing, especially now. Think about this. Dean Ambrose had a long title reign, and who the hell he defended that belt against?
Oh yeah, when we did the tier list,
and we did that video of the tier list,
and that was the U.S. Championship, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And
he had like ever, and only had like 5 defenses.
Yeah, if that, it may have been like 3 or 4.
Now, the only reason why the Shield,
Roman.
Well, the excuse was, if you look at everything, the reason why the Shield is great is post-Shield. And that's what's going to always skew the vision, no pun intended, of the Shield, is because we're looking at what Dean Ambrose has been doing as John Moxley. We're looking at Seth Rollins now, and we're looking at Roman Reigns now. Neither one of those guys would have been those guys then. They are those guys now because of the corporate backing and Dean Ambrose betting on himself to leave, to go to AEW, trust the process, trust the system, build that company up. And that's the reason why Moxley is in the position he's in with the Death Riders. But Roman and Seth had corporate backing since that group broke up. And the only reason why we can look at the fondness of the Shield is because we're looking at their accomplishments today. But looking at their accomplishments then, them dudes ain't doing no different than what the OG bloodline. They were just beating up dudes. That's all they were doing, just beating up people.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I'm looking at the impact and what they did. I'm looking at what they did
Their
within the time
impact-
that they went.
Their impact is their debut, and that's it. Their debut was impactful,
No,
but their time together as the Shield was not that impactful.
I would disagree. I mean,
They
what
didn't
other
do
factions?
shit.
What other factions you say? Did the Wyatt family come in and beat up one of your top
The
names?
Wyatt
like a
family,
John Cena?
okay.
They
The
can't
Wyatt
beat
family,
Kane.
once again, got themselves over. Bray Wyatt's charisma and his just aura and his like, I don't know who this dude is, but when he speaks, I have to listen. And he has these two big ass dudes with Rowan and the late great Brody Lee. They got themselves over naturally. There was no corporate backing with the Wyatt family. The New Day started as preachers. When they betted on themselves, they got themselves over.
I keep forgetting they started.
They got
preachers,
themselves
bro.
over.
Forgetting they did that.
Exactly. They got themselves over.
So we're not gonna sit here and act like the Shield didn't become these powerhouses. Like the fact that you had this aura around them where it's like, no, they still had this aura around them where it's like, you do not want to come across them in any way, shape, or form, because if you know it's going to be built to tail every single time. The fact that you had this looming presence of a threat anytime somebody steps foot in an arena, every time that Shield music hit, you know it was about to get serious.
Hey, if that's the case, then you know who else had that looming presence? Retribution, Dark State, and we see what happened to them two factions.
No, he didn't. We're not gonna even come close.
Retribution was trying to destroy the company. Hey, you didn't want to step foot into one of those arenas during the COVID area because you had all of these mass wrestlers.
Scoot, we are not going to sit up here and try to compare
rose-colored glasses
Shield to Retribution when you had them wearing, I don't know what kind of mask.
I'm only going off of what you just said about the whole looming presence and being scared to go to the arena.
Factors here, though.
Retribution was throwing firebombs.
Here's what makes the Shield. Here's what makes the Shield top 10, top 5 greatest faction of all time. Impact, match quality. Their matches that they were having, the fact that every single time they went undefeated, nobody went on an undefeated streak like that as a group. In a
you could argue they had better matches individually.
No. 2 words.
We're talking
Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon.
So
wait, hold up.
Here. We can't just sit up here and just say they're not critical faction because Vince McMahon was had something to do with it. He had something to do with a lot of these factions.
I'm not saying that they weren't a good faction. We're saying that they're just not. They don't deserve the hype that they get.
In my opinion,
yeah, I mean they technically, I mean they deserve the hype for what they did, but I'm not gonna put them in the category of that top faction. Were they good? Yeah,
but I didn't say they weren't good.
No. I'm not saying you did. No, I'm the thing is here is that the impact is not the issue, but the impact is not the main criteria for them being that. And now, and I'm going to say this because it's almost the same vein as a New Day, because New Day, you can say, would be a glorified tag team trio.
That's fair.
And
they had the Freebird rule.
Yeah. And
That's
so you
fair.
would put the Shield in the same category because, again, they roll as a unit and there's not many individual things that they did outside of the Shield. However, the difference between the two is that New Day had a bigger impact when it came to company-wide stuff. Now, yeah, you can say that the Shield had got sold shirts and merch like that, but when they pulled the trigger on them too early, and I think that may be the detriment to them, is that they pulled the trigger on them too early. Had they not, you can make the argument that they probably would have been bigger to some degree. But that's the only reason why they can't be put in that same category, because even the company had seen them as individuals. Whereas with the New Day, keeping them together and that's not a detriment to New Day as individuals, because they still would have worked individually, but they work so close. They work much better as a cohesive unit for the overall brand versus the Shield. Whereas the Shield would have run its course. DX, you can say, got their shit pulled too early, but you can see that they could easily run that shit into the ground back once after Triple H left, and they tried to interchange and bring in Kane and all this other shit. A good faction is the makeup of all their members as a cohesive unit. Same thing with Undisputed Era. If you take them apart, yeah, they're good individually, but they work so much better together. With the Shield, you take them apart. As soon as you pull Seth Rollins out of that, it's like, Shield what? Because he's a made man at that point. And even when you brought them back together, it still didn't have the same thing versus a Triple H and Shawn Michaels, where you get that nostalgia feel. You're never going to get that nostalgia feel from a Shield, primarily because they pulled them apart entirely too early for people to get that impact.
And thank you for bringing up the other point. The only reason why we tolerated that reunion, because Roman Reigns was coming back from being battling leukemia. That's the only reason why we tolerated them reuniting, was because it was sympathy. It was sympathy because, oh shit, Roman's back after a year from battling leukemia.
And again, I'm mad. I'm mad at the fact that they pulled the trigger on too soon, because we started gaining traction with the Shield when they had the tag team match, and I always tout this tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Goldust. That's one of the greatest fucking tag team matches that they had on Raw.
Now, I stand corrected by saying their only good tag team match was against the Wyatt family, because I totally forgot about the Rhodes brothers when they
you also got to put you also got to put like their matches, even though this was like after I think 2017, like they still have matches, even though like they weren't the Shield. They came in 2012, 2013, 2014. They were still able to put on great matches. The match with the New Day, the match with Evolution, Wyatt family. Like I was still clamoring for them to. I think especially around 2019, when there were rumors of them doing faction and stuff, I was waiting for them to do the Shield versus Undisputed Era. That was a match that I wanted.
The greatest thing that happened to the Shield was when Seth Rollins took that chair to Dean Ambrose in Roman Reigns' back. Pause.
Yeah, no, matter of fact,
but here's the thing
that happened to the Shield.
But that's the problem. They pulled the trigger too early, because at that point they were
that's what I'm saying.
Baby faces.
No, not even. Well, yes, that. But here's the problem, and this is why. Again, now this is for me, it's a definitive thing. That the feud they had with the Shield right before they pulled the trigger on the chair shot. That's when they would have been able to prove themselves as a faction, because them going from heavies from Punk and Heyman to them being heavies for the Authority. At that moment where they would have been able to stand on their own without the backing of anybody is the moment that they pulled them apart. So we never even got a chance to see if they would have been able to stand on their own as a faction, as potential leaders in the company. Because every time we seen them, they were backed by somebody else.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this in my closing of my hot take. If we was to ever do a tier list of factions, just best believe
we did.
Where did we put the Shield?
I mean, I think we put the Shield did we put the Shield at the top?
Because if we did, I recant that shit.
Bruh, I don't even hold on.
I recant. If we put the Shield at the top when we did our faction list, I recant that shit.
No, you don't.
Yes, the fuck I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, the fuck I do. I recant that shit. I recant.
In the words of Booker T, he didn't say that. Tell me he didn't. Just say that.
Just say that.
But while Dizzle is looking up that information, I'm gonna get ready to pass it to Dizzle so he can do that thing that he do oh so well, because we didn't gave y'all over 2.5 hours of goodness. You know what I'm saying? we starting to go back to old school ways with with these
Shit,
TMIs
this
now.
weekend last. I know we gotta cut it out.
Where we put the shield?
Yeah. We put
the
the
top?
shield at fan
Oh.
fucking tastic.
Oh fuck! Wait. What was our ratings? Fantastic. What was the
Fan
ratings?
fucking
Steven?
tastic.
Uh-huh.
We had fan fucking tastic, over too soon, necessary for the era,
Necessary for the era is perfect for the shield.
No. You keep
Perfect.
it where it was. It was fantastic. If you would put
It was fantastically necessary for the era. There you go.
no, you could get away with fantastic, or you could have got away with pulled apart too soon because they were pulled apart too soon,
Necessary.
especially when they became
Necessary for the era.
no, because if you would have kept the shield together at that point, they would have still been one of the most over things in the company. The fact that at that point in time, they were still one of the most over acts outside of Daniel Bryan, John Cena.
Leo, don't make me start calling them trash.
If you say they're trash, then I'm just not gonna listen to it because I know.
Because
I'm just
because
not
I'm only
going
going to be I'm only going to just be antagonistic at this point. But no, necessary for the era. Hey, Tag Nation, whoever all watched that tier list, I don't know what I was on. I don't know what
He
I
was
was
on the right.
then.
He woke up on the right side of the bed and picked the right.
Well,
thing.
remember
Nah.
we had. Look at the selection of stuff we had. I think we were just being more like what, like on the whole, how they were amongst the IWC, not just amongst us personally.
I think so too. Because we can't recall. But Hot take Timmy. I'm gonna go ahead and pass that ball
No,
to
you don't
good
even.
sir.
You don't even got to make it like that. You can just be like, "Hey, this is my personal view on it."
Hey,
All right.
hey, this is the views of the Mr. TPC. The Shield ain't as great as y'all remember them to be.
Those bars. You already know whether you loved it, hate it. Don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave all your comments, questions, concerns down below. Let us know if Leo's wrong, if Scoot's wrong, if I'm wrong, if Jaeger's wrong. Let us know
I'm
who's
not.
right. But make sure you tag the like button, tag subscribe button, tag notification bell, get notified on any and everything that we drop on a weekly, daily, monthly basis. Go ahead and make sure you check out Juggs' channel, check out Leo's channel, their live reviews, their recaps, all that good shit, their discussions. Get more of this shit from wherever you want to drop it. But let me go ahead and warm up the Too Sweet to the bros and those watching at home with a good old bada 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 bam. And of course, until you see these handsome faces and hear these immaculate voices, we bid you all adieu. And until next time, you beautiful, 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 beautiful mother effers. Tag the fucking click. Ow.